There we go. I wish I knew.
Yo, welcome to the panel. Another
I
episode,
wish I knew.
episode 12. You guys see everybody up here. We are going to waste no time. I need to know right off the bat, tell them to you, where is wasting their
Oh
super.
man,
Terrible.
I ain't gonna lie, Ron. You're not gonna be able to host this one, buddy.
Hey,
One more time from the top, Ron. Who you going with first, and what you asking? Because you went in and out, bro.
what he was trying to ask, what he was trying to ask you guys is straight off the top, which franchise is wasting their star talent the most?
Okay.
So, Lo, I'll start off with you, Brody.
Shit, man, looking like the Golden State Warriors, boy, because they might be wasting Curry's best season in his career, which would be crazy if they do. It's a couple of teams. I'm gonna go with I might go with Luka because it's looking so far that they're still overly dependent on him, and we already know that it's a style of play that doesn't win basketball games, especially in terms of like playoff games. And so they're going into another year where that's the reality of what they're doing right now. It's kind of like the LeBron James effect where Luka came in so good that they were already a playoff team, and so there's no real way to accommodate his playing style or accommodate him with like another quality young guard or another young player because they're just so good out the gate. And so now like they're struggling to find like a complementary piece that can like relieve him. So he's still just doing a lot of things that look great on paper, but we all know will not manifest until like a deep postseason run or any type of like high level success.
Yeah.
Chill.
I was originally thinking that it was Sacramento because I'm looking at what they were doing with De'Aaron Fox and the fact that they could have passed on Keegan Murray and went with Jaden Ivey. I think he would have been a better fit for them. I think that they were straight at the small forward spot, and that unit that they have, they look like it's conducive to close to making the playoffs. But over the last 5 years with this team that he's had, they've just come up with bad draft picks. And not only have they come up with bad draft picks, a lot of the guys haven't really materialized into good players. I mean, they ended up taking Halliburton, where him and Halliburton and De'Aaron Fox basically are ball dominant, so that's not going to work, right? So then you got guys like passing on Luka for Marvin Bagley. So I thought that they did a bad job in building that unit around him. But the one team that I say is doing a terrible job, and that's the Charlotte Hornets. They're absolutely ruining. What are we doing with LaMelo Ball down here? What exactly are we doing? Nobody anticipated that Miles Bridges was going to get into the trouble that he got into, but they held on to Gordon Hayward. He's breaking down every year. Not only is he breaking down every year, he's an integral piece of them making the playoffs. Mark Williams hasn't played at all. I mean, I think he was a lottery pick. He's averaging 4 minutes a game. He hasn't played at all for them. I mean, I think that they're doing a terrible job down in Charlotte building that unit around LaMelo Ball. Terrible.
Go ahead, Marz.
I think it has to be the Lakers. I mean, you have 2 top 10 talents. You're one of the worst teams in the NBA.
No, they do not have 2 top 10 talents. No, they don't.
They have 2 top 10 talents in my
No,
eyes.
they don't.
Stop.
Anthony Davis and LeBron
Stop.
James, when healthy, are 2 top 10 talents in my
Number one, they're not young guys, and that was the idea. So we can kill that logic.
You're wasting them. That's what you're doing. The question was which team is wasting their superstars. Lou said Steph Curry, who's 34. Anthony Davis is like 30. LeBron's old, but there's still 2 top 10 superstar level talents being wasted on a team that is fighting to make the playoffs.
Right.
When I think that's a waste. The team's been built around them terribly. LeBron James can't stay healthy. I guess that's not on the Lakers per se, but the way Anthony Davis is playing, the way LeBron James can play, I just think the Lakers are wasting, because they're the only team that I can say have, in my opinion, 2 superstar level talents. And they're a terrible team. So I think they're the ones wasting their talent the most.
Superstar talent.
But Lou seems to think AD's trash. I don't know.
Well, I said LeBron. LeBron is not a top 10 player. No, he's not.
Well,
I never said top 10 player. I said top 10 talent. That's what I said.
Oh.
Yeah, I made sure I pick my words wisely.
And we also got to establish too, Marz, what do we classify as a superstar in the NBA? How many superstars are there? I think Jason Tatum is a superstar. I think James is a superstar. Is Kawhi Leonard a superstar?
At this point, I'm saying no.
I'm gonna say no as well. How about Paul George? Is he a superstar?
No.
No.
I'm gonna pass on him. So there aren't many superstars in the game. I don't think Trae Young is a superstar.
Is
right?
Anthony Davis a superstar?
I think Anthony Davis was a superstar. I don't think that he is a superstar anymore. I think Giannis is a superstar. I think KD is a superstar.
How can you lose superstardom though? I don't get that.
Do you think James Harden's still a superstar?
No, I do not. No.
I would think maybe the way I look at superstars, I mainly look at marketability as well as talent. So James Harden, even though he's not the same James Harden as before, he's still a very talented individual in the NBA, and he still has that marketability that comes with him. We talk about James Harden way more than we should do. If it was just based on his talent alone, we shouldn't be talking about him like the way we do. But we talk about James Harden the way we do because he's James Harden. To me, you can hate it all you want. Marketability is a part of superstardom.
So Kyrie's a superstar.
Kyrie, I would classify as superstar.
Absolutely not.
Trae Young, I would think about. I would think about Trae Young being a superstar as well.
But here's the thing. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Doug.
Oh, no. You could go.
Well, here's the thing, Doug. When you talk about a superstar, play comes into that. I mean, despite how marketable you are, despite how important you are to your unit, how you play comes into how much of a superstar that you are. That's why Jason Tatum has become a superstar. That's why Steph Curry is a superstar. That's why LeBron James is still a superstar because of the way these guys play. Not only because of the way that they play, what they bring to their unit, both on and off the floor. Mostly on the floor, though. So when I think about James Harden as a superstar, no, I don't think James Harden is a superstar.
So when we're talking about what he's doing right now in terms of his play, I can see where you're coming from. But guys, Kyrie Irving, James Harden, what they did in the past, Chris Paul even earned them that superstardom role. So
Right.
my thing is once you acquire superstardom, I think it's just very difficult for you to just lose that.
So Derrick Rose is a superstar.
I'm not going to go that far.
Derrick Rose is tough because it was like one crazy season. But honestly, the way that people love Derrick Rose off of those few seasons, I mean, he's close. He's flirting with it.
What are you talking about?
Derrick Rose gets tons of love. We're not going to do that.
But hold on,
though.
Him as a player. I mean, come on, Dub. This is not a Supreme Court. This is not a Supreme Court justice spot right here where you get to keep it forever once you get to be a superstar. No, you don't just stay a superstar forever. You got to maintain that. And there's a lot of guys who have not maintained that. Particularly, James Harden has not maintained the superstar level. No, he has not. And in fact, when you get that superstar level, you get it because of what you've done in the postseason, when the bets get higher, right? When the stakes are higher. When these guys don't produce and guys produce more, that makes them superstars. Now, to say a guy like James Harden is still a superstar or Derrick Rose is still a superstar, who Derrick Rose hasn't been relevant in the playoffs for at least 7 years now, right? So to say he is a superstar, I think that's way out of line. No.
Was Tracy McGrady ever a superstar to your eyes?
In my opinion, no.
I think Tracy McGrady was I think he was a star. I don't never think he was a superstar. No.
Superstar, never. Allen Iverson?
I think Allen Iverson was a superstar, no question. Yes.
So that's my point. Even though Allen Iverson, he had those few times in the postseason where he had a tremendous run, he didn't have that ever since, but we still consider him a superstar. That's the thing. When you play at a high of a level and earn that,
no one was
role,
considering Memphis Grizzlies Allen Iverson a superstar. No
one. Or Denver Nuggets.
The idea
when we still look at talk about Allen Iverson, we still look at him as a superstar.
No, but the idea that once you become, I think we're confusing superstar and playing at a superstar level, and I think a lot of people confuse that because Hakeem Olajuwon, superstar. Hakeem Olajuwon in Toronto, trash.
He was over.
Right? So Jordan, superstar. Jordan in Washington,
he was
not
over.
A superstar. Not a superstar.
Right.
And you can pick any player like that. So that's why when you say you can lose your superstardom, yeah, you can lose your superstardom on the court. So what you're talking about when you say marketability and that superstar, that's a different superstar. Because when I refer to a superstar, I'm speaking on the court only. How do you play? How do you lead your team? How far can you take your team? That's the only criteria for a on the court superstar.
Well, isn't
That's
that
y'all. That's y'all criteria. My
Yeah,
criteria
that's the
is a
thing.
superstar.
I think-
Ain't gonna lie,
here's the-
Dub. That's why you're gonna
Right.
lose. That's why you losing
Because
Friday.
Jeremy,
What you mean?
That's
What
why
are you talking about?
Look
Dub,
at
that's why
talking
you
about?
losing. Dub, that's why you losing the
Y'all
Fluent right there.
changing
Dub,
the
that's why you
definition.
losing the Fluent right
Wait,
there.
hold on,
Right
Lo.
there.
You
That's why you gonna
changing
lose.
you
You gonna
changing
lose,
the
man.
whole definition of superstardom.
No, we're
No.
not.
I'm going off of what it actually means.
What does
And
it mean, dog?
What it actually means is a whole high profile and extremely successful performer or athlete.
And how did they get to that spot?
Because, like I said before, they earned that by playing at a high level. And once you earn that, you have that marketability for damn near forever.
So once you're a superstar, you're forever a superstar.
Dub, this is what I mean when I say you make a valid point, but you jump off a cliff and you lose everyone.
And that's why
because I've made this case before.
Mocking you.
I've made this case before and said there's only like 3 or 4
superstar
superstars,
quarterback.
but I've never said Derrick Rose is a superstar. You jumped off that cliff, and that's why no one.
I said I'm not sure about Derrick.
Yeah,
Rose,
but you
though.
saying you're not sure is why you're losing.
I'm not sure. What
that
you
should be a
mean?
definitive no.
You coming like Derrick Rose?
No.
You coming like Derrick Rose don't got love out here, bro? What are we doing?
He's not love, but he's not a superstar player.
What are we doing?
There's a difference between popular and superstar.
Man, Fluent is
Absolutely.
you. Oh my goodness!
I think they go hands in hand. That's why I say when I'm talking about superstars in general. But you don't go and say James Harden's
hold on. Now we're gonna get into this bullshit. Because now you over here just rubbing this guy's scrotum.
What was the question? What was the question? Because I was out, so I missed.
Yeah, let's
question before all this.
Come on.
Yeah, Fluent. What's the question? Which superstar in the NBA? Which franchise in the NBA is ruining their superstars' career?
Right.
Ruining their superstars' career?
Basically wasting their talent. Wasting their talent.
Because I heard 2 different questions there. Because the franchise that's wasting their superstar is Dallas and Luka Doncic. I've said that before. Their roster stinks. They're wasting him away. They didn't realize, I don't think, that he was going to come into the league at his peak. Like, he's not going to get significantly better. He is who he is, which is phenomenal. And they're wasting it away with this horrible roster. However, Marz hit one too, because when you say wasting superstar talent, the Lakers and the Nets are wasting superstar talent because they both have 2 or 3 players that are superstar talent, not superstars, have superstar talent in Kyrie, KD, and in LeBron. Heck, even Westbrook has superstar talent and AD talent. Right? Those 2 franchises are wasting away 2 established superstars. But I still think it's Dallas for me because Luka, that roster.
But here's the thing, though, Tony.
At least you can say the Lakers and Nets tried. They failed, but at least they tried. They revamped the entire roster in LA. Failed.
But with that also being said, though, Tone, I mean, what's the history of Dallas? I mean, they let Steve Nash walk out the front door for nothing. Yeah. And not only did they let Steve Nash walk out the front door for nothing when Dirk was there, what were they really building around him? They didn't get Tyson Chandler until 2011. That was year 12 for Dirk.
Oh, right? Yeah,
they got Sean Marion. Yeah. They got Sean Marion at that point. He was in year 11. So I mean, this is a history of the Dallas Mavericks. Add that to the fact that this is the same team where, I mean, Dub, you mentioned this in the past about the Dallas Mavericks being a fluke when they won the NBA championship. Like, we leave out the fact that after they won the NBA championship in 2011, they didn't make it out of the first round for 9 years. Dirk didn't make it out of the first round of the playoffs again for the rest of his career with the roster that they was putting around him. So this is who the Dallas Mavericks are. Now, it has been a recipe for winning because if you remember, in the mid 2000s to late 2000s, I think Dallas was in the West Finals 3 times in 5 years or something like that. I mean, they did do that. Right. So when I think about Dallas wasting talent, I mean, they try to put the pieces around a star player, not like everybody else does, where they try to put other stars around them. They put guys.
Hold on. You feel that Dallas is trying to put the right pieces around Luka?
I don't think that they're doing it more than what the Lakers are doing. I think I've said this in the past. I think the Lakers are the worst team in the league. With the talent that they have, I think they're the worst team in the league. And I stand on that line.
Agreed. But I mean, I don't think they're doing Luka any favors at all. And I don't disagree with you about putting other superstars. I don't like that let's throw 2-3 superstars together and try to win. It has not worked historically more than it has failed. Right. But I don't think they're putting complementary. I feel like he's like the second coming of LeBron in Cleveland. They're just like, he's good enough. Whatever we throw at him, he'll figure it out. That's what they're doing to this guy. And guess what? He's going to probably do the same thing LeBron did, and people are going to knock him for leaving, which they shouldn't.
Can I ask y'all?
Man, me and Fluent on, we twinning right now.
Can I ask y'all this though? Wait, is Spencer Dinwiddie and Christian Wood not good? Like y'all acting like he's playing.
They're not saying that they're not good. We're just saying the complementary players aren't good enough to match the star talent of Luka. Like
to do what you want to do, which is win a championship. They're good enough to get to the playoffs.
Well, we gotta wait. We gotta wait for people to be available first. A lot of people haven't been available. I mean,
and why is that though, Dub? We only a month into the season. I'm sick of hearing that logic about we gotta wait for these guys to get healthy. We a month into the season.
Not healthy.
He's not even saying that. Free agent.
He's talking about free agents, trades
because
part of been available.
Who?
Everyone's always available.
Yeah, they're always
always available.
Who's available?
Everyone is always available.
James Wiseman is available. James Wiseman is
he's been in the league for 5 years. What are you talking
about? Who's been available for that Dallas Mavericks team?
Any and everyone.
Who?
Name a player.
James Harden was available. Rudy Gobert would now know was available. Donovan Mitchell.
I said this in the summer. If I'm Dallas, I trade every single person on my roster and every single draft pick for Rudy Gobert and Zach LaVine. You're not telling me that's a way better roster around him?
I don't think they're winning.
Now they're talking about Zach
I don't
think
they're winning a chip. I'm sorry.
No, but that's
and you mentioned James Harden. And you mentioned James Harden. Who would James Harden rather playing with?
No, I don't want James
Harden. No, but you said you're making it seem like nobody was available. There's been plenty.
All these guys are available.
Yeah, there's been plenty of moves and trades that have happened and signings that have happened over the past 5 years since he's been in the league. To make it seem as if like nobody hasn't been available, that's ludicrous. That's
no. There's nobody. There's nobody realistic.
Yeah,
I was about to say they did.
They tried to swing on Porzingis. Unfortunately,
there's no high caliber guy. There isn't a high caliber guy who realistically that the Dallas Mavericks could have gotten is what I'm saying.
Donovan Mitchell?
You mentioned James Harden. Donovan Mitchell maybe, but you look at the trade package. Look at the trade package and what they sent for Donovan Mitchell. I don't think Dallas Mavericks could have matched that.
Not only that. Utah ain't getting.
But you said no one was available. So which one is it? No one was available, or they couldn't put a trade package together?
What are you talking about, Fluent?
What are you talking about?
No, I said that I said Dallas Mavericks, right? I said the Dallas Mavericks. Yeah. I don't think that they had they were in a position to be able to get these kind of high quality guys.
No, what you said was in the last 4 years, no one's been available. Is what you said.
That's not what you said. You said
no one was available.
People can be available, but not available to Dallas.
Thank you, Marz. That's exactly what I'm saying.
That's where I was going.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Because there's no way.
Because Marz is the only one
Kevin Durant was available, but we all know Dallas wasn't going to be able to get him. So
just like Donovan Mitchell was available, but Utah is not giving Dallas Donovan Mitchell. No, they're not.
I'm using him as an example. My point is,
because number one, we just got bounced by them in the playoffs in the first round in historic fashion. That's number one.
But hold on. You think Utah cared about sending someone in conference in division?
If that's true, then why didn't they do it?
Was they were going to tank because they were going to tank. That was their goal initially.
Right. So
if
them tanking was the idea, then let's get what we could get for Donovan Mitchell. All right, you send him to Cleveland for 3-1. You sent him to Cleveland for what? 3-1.
What did he get? What Cleveland offer him? What was that trade? What was that trade?
I think they got Markin, Sexton, and 2 1s, if I'm not mistaken.
You don't even have to do all this. They traded somebody in their own division. They traded Rudy Gobert to Minnesota. They did that. So what are we saying right now? They were just
5 first-round picks.
But I get that. But I'm saying they were just looking for as much value as possible. They didn't care about what they did or didn't have.
I don't think they're very close to having many picks at all.
But that is also another problem is that the way that they've structured a lot of things and moved pieces around, it just put them at a disadvantage, especially with that Porzingis trade. So in short, to have the players been available, yes, but their inability to maximize and capitalize on those players being available has been the plight of the Utah Jazz, i.e. the plight of Luka Doncic being on the team. That's just what it is.
You mean the Dallas Mavericks? Sure.
I mean the Dallas Mavericks, yeah.
Yes, I can get with that. All right, I can get with that, sure.
The Cavs sent 3 unprotected picks and 2 swaps.
And they sent Sexton and Markkanen. I don't think they could have matched that, but the Timberwolves just threw a bunch of draft picks and like rotation pieces for Rudy Gobert.
Rudy Gobert is not an answer. Stop bringing up Rudy Gobert.
At the end, Dallas don't have that many picks.
Really, you don't think Rudy Gobert helps Doncic
to win a chip? No, hell no.
Really? Because is he better than Tyson Chandler? Because Tyson Chandler sure as hell helped Dirk Nowitzki.
Fluent, what the fuck?
Whoa, dog. Are you fighting? Whoa, dog. Are you fighting that?
I'm
Whoa,
not even
Dub, are you
fighting that. No,
fighting that?
I'm not
Whoa.
even fighting that. Why
I'm
would
about
you
to
bring
say,
up?
damn.
Why would you bring up a scenario like a Tyson Chandler?
Because it's the
to this
same
scenario right now?
team.
It's not the same team.
It's the Mavericks.
It's the same franchise.
Same team with a
Oh,
superstar, and then they brought in a player like Tyson Chandler, a Jason Kidd, who was an older point guard, to help him win. So Gobert is my Tyson Chandler for Dirk.
And then who's the Shawn Marion? Who's the Jason Terry?
That's what they got to figure out. Absolutely.
So you're bringing
When
up
they hire
Tyson
me as the
Chandler.
GM,
You're
I'll
bringing
tell
up
them all those
Tyson
answers.
Chandler, Rudy Gobert with no
When
other
they
names.
hire me as the GM, I'll give them all those answers.
Spencer
What about
Dinwiddie
Jason
would be Jason
Kidd
Terry.
and Shawn Marion? Like,
You
come
just
on.
add,
what
you
are
just
we
add,
doing?
you just add those players though. I mean, you just
I didn't add it. He's comparing those.
No. I'm saying you just add those players.
No, but you can get those.
You can get those players.
Guys, those role players.
Tyson Chandler is a much harder.
So you're telling me? Hold on. You're telling me? Wait. Who's Jason Kidd?
I just don't
Conley?
think that Rudy.
Like, there's guys.
I just don't think that Rudy Gobert is the answer for that team.
He's a piece.
You don't think he's the answer for any team, dog.
I don't even think he was acquirable by Dallas. I don't think it would have been possible for them to put a package together to get him. So I don't.
But again, to the original point of no one was available in the past 4 years, there have been a ton of players available.
All right, here you go.
We're stuck on these guys.
He got you.
He's misunderstanding the point again. How many times you gonna misquote me, bro?
Damn, he didn't misquote you.
I quoted you.
You gonna misunderstand me the whole time.
Oh, misunderstand you. I didn't misquote you though. I didn't misquote
me. Whatever. Misunderstand me. You've been misunderstanding me this whole time, like usual.
That's 1-0 for Fluent right there. That's 1-0 for Fluent.
Yo, Lo, cut that shit out, please.
Lower hype man today, huh? Is that what you want, Lo? You Don King today, huh, Lo?
Hey,
I can get with that.
We gotta get into a super chat, man. C Breezy, bring Shaq back. Until then, Ronda go to PC. Love y'all for real though. What's up, Chill? You taking it light or taking it today?
Taking it light, brother. Taking it light. That's what I'm doing.
You gotta find a new catchphrase, please. Please find a new catchphrase. I'm not a fan of that.
He doesn't have one, isn't it? This?
That's not ridiculous. That's not ridiculous to say that.
That was never a catchphrase. That just happened. This take it light thing is wild. But the Z-Dub with another super chat with a 20 ball. What if scenario? Wiggins is on Golden State for 2017. Instead of KD going against the Cavs, which team wins the championship and how many games? I'll drop another SC to a follow-up Q, depending how the panel answers.
Q means question.
Yeah. I didn't feel like saying it, though.
Is it 2017 Andrew Wiggins?
I love how Marz translates for Dub.
That's my guy.
But actually, that's actually another great example of how, like, a well-ran organization was able to identify the talent of Andrew Wiggins and was able to just groom him into the player that they needed him to be. Those are things that, like, a lot of other franchises just don't have. And so, like, if that's a player that was available that anybody could have gotten, and the Warriors were forward-thinking enough to trade for him, then yes. But to answer that question, the 2017 version of Andrew Wiggins, no. But like this version of Andrew Wiggins in 2017, yeah, they could have still won.
Do you think they could have made the 2017 version of Andrew Wiggins this version of Andrew Wiggins in 2017?
No, not that quickly. No. It was going to take like 2 or 3 years to get to this point.
Okay, I think it's a 6 or 7 game series, and in a game 7, I'm betting on LeBron James, so the Cavs win.
Chill.
I think that they smoked the Warriors. I don't think they beat the Warriors. I think they smoked the Warriors because I think we're talking about a different Andrew Wiggins. I ain't talking about the Andrew Wiggins from today. I'm talking about Andrew Wiggins who was 3 years into the league in 2017. That guy, the same guy who Jimmy Butler basically almost ran him off. That guy. We're talking about the same Andrew Wiggins who would have to deal with LeBron James. That Andrew Wiggins, right, who was dealing with Jimmy Butler. Add that to the fact that we can't minimize the gravity of how important it is of what the Cavs did the year before and the psychological advantage that they had on the Golden State Warriors after coming back from being down 3-1 and then handling them on their home floor the way that they did. So you add Andrew Wiggins, who had never even won a playoff series. He had never even been to the playoffs. So we're going to add this dude to this roster, and we're going to put him in the finals against that basically freight train, which is the Cleveland Cavaliers with Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love, and we're going to put him out there against these guys. I think they smoked the Warriors in 5 games.
That Cavs defense is too bad to only give up 1 game, in my opinion. That's the only issue, because that Cavs, they went all guns blazing. They were trying to outscore the Warriors, and that was going to work because the Warriors had the best offense ever. But their defense was so bad, I think the Warriors can get 2 or 3 simply based on the fact that their defense would give up enough points. And I don't know how much weight I can put in the psychological advantage because it's hard to say. It's hard to say when you have KD, but I don't look at the Warriors as a team that's like mentally fragile.
Well, that's what you're going off. But that's what you're going off.
I'm just going, but it's just how I feel about it. I just don't view them that way.
I was with you right until the end when you said they smoke them in 5, because here's the thing. KD absolutely gave them a psychological edge because once they in their mind, we went 7 with this team. We now added KD. We can't lose. And when you have that mentality of we can't lose, that's what you end up doing. Now, from a series standpoint, 35-8-5, you don't replace that with Andrew Wiggins because that's what KD did that series. And so I get the Cavs winning, but I don't think it's a wash. I think it's like 6, maybe. No, I don't even think 7. I think it's Cavs and 6.
And we can't leave out the fact that they did beat the Warriors 3 straight games. Yeah. And not only did they beat them 3 straight games, that's a psychological advantage in itself to watch LeBron James go off of what he went off of. Same thing with Kyrie Irving and just that unit as a whole, how they played against the Golden State Warriors. I mean, we're talking about in Game 7. Like it's interesting you mentioned that too, Marz, about how they were scoring. They held the Warriors to 89 points in that Game 7.
The 2016 team had a good defense. They changed it up in 2017. I guess,
of course, they
maybe because they were scared of the KD team, so maybe it wouldn't happen like that. Because
the reason why the Warriors changed up their offense because they got 30 a game, so of course that they're going to look a lot different. That's not going to go on with Andrew Wiggins to the roster. Now,
he's saying it was changes to the Cavs defense. That's what he's saying.
But that's the thing.
Well, of course, they
doesn't take into account.
Go ahead, I'm sorry, Tom.
No, that's right. Yeah, but I think that's the thing is once you make that one change, instead of getting KD, everything else changes. What do the Warriors do? Because they're not adding KD, they're adding Wiggins. That's a different player.
Right.
So how does their scheme change? How does the Cavs then react to that? Because now it's not KD, it's a different thing. Heck, do the Warriors even get to the finals if they have Wiggins and KD still on Oklahoma City? Like it opens up this Pandora's box of other things. But let's assume it all plays out the same. I got Cavs and 6.
Man, Fluent making a lot of good points today, man.
Yeah, his scrotum must feel good, bro. Could you argue Elton Brand a top 10 player over Shaq in 2006? I got into a heated debate earlier about that.
What in the world?
Elton Brand as a top 10 player.
Elton Brand, what was Brand doing back then?
Well,
that was Elton Brand.
He was
25, I think.
He was on that Clipper team. They lost in the Western Conference Finals, Western Conference semifinals, not the Western Conference Finals. They lost in the Western Conference Finals. I actually thought that they after the Lakers beat Phoenix, I thought that they were going to end up playing the Clippers before the Lakers gave up that 3-1 lead. I thought that they were going to end up playing the Clippers in the hallway series, and then Phoenix ended up beating them. But Elton Brand, I think he made the All-Star team that year.
And All-NBA.
He made the All-Star team that year. He did make
25 and 10.
He made the All-Star team that year. Now, was he a top 10 player? I mean, you might be able to argue that he was a top 10 player, but when I think about Shaq and what Shaq was doing, even though Shaq was on the other side of it, I mean, Shaq still at that year, I think he was 20-8, and they were running the offense still through him, and he still had the dominant space. Elton Brand, he benefited from Sam Cassell was on that team too, so he benefited from that because he was on the crew the year before that too, and he was not 25 and 10, so he definitely benefited from that. I think you can make an argument that he was a top 10 player, definitely top 15 though.
You might have to start pushing some Elton Brand propaganda. Man, these numbers look kind of nice right now.
Yeah.
Word. Well, we're gonna get into what happened last week during the NBA season, man, real quick. A lot of guys have been on a tear. You know, D. Mitch beat Atlanta the other night. Kevin Durant on the Memphis Grizzlies, but they didn't really have anybody. I would like to know where your guys' heads at for some of the teams and what happened last week. Chilltown, you can go first, man.
I watched that Atlanta Cleveland game, and I would really like to see Darius Garland be a better defender on the wing. I know how difficult it is to deal with a guy who shoots the ball in high volume, but he had a real tough time with Trae Young. Trae Young looked like he just gets wherever he wanted to go, and he looked like he just did whatever he wanted to do. I don't think Cleveland goes to Evan Mobley as much as they should, and it's starting to make sense. I didn't think that they was going to him as much as they should, and it started to make sense why. Evan Mobley hasn't really improved from last year. He looks like the same guy in terms of his skill set, in terms of his offensive ability. Defensively, he looks like he's starting to make a push, but offensively, he doesn't look like he's gotten better. His handle is still it's still bobbly, it's still weak. Donovan Mitchell, he's still a high volume shooter. That offense that they run, it looks very similar to what Houston was doing with James Harden, where it's a 5 and out and they just give him the ball and they just clear out. They don't get any action off the basketball. And I understood why they beat Atlanta. They just beat Atlanta because they were better defensively. But I don't like what I'm seeing from Cleveland offensively. I don't see a lot of dives in the post. I don't see a lot of action in the mid post with Cleveland. I just see them giving the ball to Donovan Mitchell when the shot clock runs down, and they just watch him play. And I think that's a recipe for disaster in the playoffs. I think that they're a second round unit. I mean, I think they're a second round team at best, but that's got to improve for them.
Low.
Damn, bro, you know I got ice in my mouth and everything home.
I'll go to the guy you've been sucking up all night.
Okay,
Fluent,
all right.
I just saw that Chick-fil-A cup. You're making me hungry. We don't have fucking. I haven't had my dinner yet. Last week there's two things that stood out to me last week. Is Utah for real?
Yes.
No.
Is Utah for real?
Yes, they are.
That team, I keep waiting for them to go on like a 10-game losing streak and drop out of everything. And
it's actually happening now, Tone. They've lost 4 of their last 6, but keep going.
Yes, they've lost. They have lost. Well, no, they're 6-4 in their last 10. They just lost one, I know, their last game, but they're 6-4 in their last 10. But they're still atop the Western Conference. So I keep waiting for this Utah. I keep is predicting it, and I'm waiting for it, and I don't know what's going on with them. They're actually pretty good. So that's the one that I keep watching. I would never watch Utah. Even in the 90s when they were good, I didn't watch Utah. Now I'm like, man, I got to watch these guys. Because they're still fun to watch. I'm waiting for their drop off. That's the thing that struck me most from last week. There's a bunch of other things, but that's the one more than anything. And maybe how good Boston has been as of late. I think they're what, like 9-1 in their last 10. Like Boston's really stepping up. Good. Tatum is making a case for what this guy said.
Who's making a case, Thomas? I'm sorry. I just want to make sure I heard you correctly.
Yeah. He's making
this dude roasted me, dub. He said when I brought up
he's a year away. He's a year away. I was 3 years. I'm waiting.
And this was just last year. This was literally just last year that I said, "Yo, Jason Tatum, we're gonna have a conversation about him being in the league, being the league MVP next season." Right? We just said that.
We're having that conversation.
We are now having that conversation.
We're having that conversation.
Now we're having that conversation. But ultimately, Utah, I can't believe you guys. First of all, they're at the bottom of the league. They're in the bottom 10 in the league in defense. They're giving up in the last 6 games. They're giving up 120 points a game, right? And the reason why they're giving up 120 points a game, because I know Low is a numbers guy, but what I'd like you to do, Low, is I'd like you to dig a little bit. I'd like you to dig deeper into your numbers, right? Because when I think about them giving up 120 points in the last 6 games, not only 120 points in the last 6 games, they're at the bottom of the league also in defensive rebounding. And you know why that is? The reason why that is because they don't have any rim protection. And what they try to do is they try to do the same thing. They try to do the same thing that the Portland Trailblazers are trying to do with gang rebounding, only except they don't do it. They try to mask it with speeding up the game because they averaging almost 115 points a game, but they don't guard. They can't rebound.
If they had a guy like Gobert guarding the paint, they'd be pretty. Oh no,
forget that. We've already seen that. I'm not sucked into this Utah logic because I've watched them. What they do that's good is they exploit matchups. Like I watched them a couple of nights against the Trailblazers, and they exposed Portland for not having a rim protector. Eubanks is their only rim protector, and he comes off the bench. So all Utah did basically was dive to the paint, dive to the box, and go to the basket and exploit that mismatch, right? So that's a problem for Portland. The problem with Utah is they do the same thing, and they don't rebound, and they don't defend at a high level. So they're scoring a lot of points, so it looks good on the surface, but this is going to be a problem moving forward.
So they're going to drop off, right? You promised me they're going to drop? All right.
Listen, I'm not ready to hop off the Utah Jazz train, bro. I don't give a damn what y'all say. The defense is in question, I will say that. But bro, they're shooting tremendously, bro. The offense is rarely high powered, and maybe this little high paced offense, me out shooting the other team, something that could be sustainable for a playoff spot. I mean, why not? They've been dominating. They have been not dominating. They've been playing great the whole entire season, and even throughout that little 4-game losses they had in the last 6 games, they did beat the Suns, a very quality team, and they also beat the Portland Trailblazers in there too. So I'm not ready for the tank. I'm not expecting a tank at all, bro. The Utah Jazz is that team. Never give up on them. Marz,
the high paced offense works in the regular season. That's the thing, right? We've seen this story before. Remember Mike D'Antoni and the Suns? Like it doesn't do anything in the playoffs. So that's what I'm just thinking is maybe they have enough firepower.
Playoff. That's all I'm saying is playoff, right? Yo, chill. You gotta see. You made fun of Fluent for the whole. I mean, you got mad about Fluent making fun of you about Jason Tatum. Stop making fun of him about Utah Jazz, man.
I'm not making fun of him. No. Well, I'm not doing that. I'm not making fun. I'm just not on. I'm not on the hook. I'm not on the hook.
You don't want to get sucked in, right?
No, I won't. Not yet.
No, he's still feeling his New York Giants pick from last year. So he's.
How's that going, by the way, Tone?
Since
we on the subject of the Giants, how's that going, Tone?
Pretty good this year.
All right, I just want to make sure. Anyway, but
you were a year early.
I was. Yeah,
Nostradamus was a year early.
Now, I will say this though, Dub. I will say this. So if the season were to end today, I had Colin Sexton as most improved, but it looks like Lauri Markkanen is probably going to be the most improved player. So I'm on the right track. I was on the right team. I just picked the wrong guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm obviously on the right track. I just picked the wrong guy because Lauri Markkanen, he actually looks like something different. I didn't see this in Chicago from him at all. I didn't see a guy that's getting to the basket like that. He looks a lot more athletic in this kind of offense because they run a lot of wide open stuff in Utah, right? And they put him in position where he shoots the basketball, not just in the mid range, but he shoots the long ball, almost like a typical Euro game, but with some slashing to the basket where he's finishing at the rim. So I gotta pay more attention to Markkanen than I'm doing.
Got you. Marz, what you got for us?
The Kings have the best offense in the NBA.
Damn, you took my thing. You took it. Damn. Tough.
That's crazy.
The Kings is what I was gonna go with too. Damn.
Mike Brown's doing a hell of a job over there. The defense isn't great, which is a bit of a surprise because you expect defense to be associated with Mike Brown. Yeah. But their offense is great. I'm still on the De'Aaron Fox train in terms of I still think he's in the same tier as Ja Morant, whether that's crazy or not, I don't care. I still think he's in the same tier as him. I think he's fringe top 5 point guard in the NBA. I think he doesn't get his respect because he's in Sacramento. But they're looking like a good team. They could make the playoffs depending on how Utah falls, how Golden State rises, whatever's going on with the Clippers. But they're going to be in playoff contention, which is a big surprise for most people.
Damn.
And also Klay Thompson, by the way. Seattle right now. Good. Can we do that?
No, Tone. We're not moving Sacramento to Seattle. How about we get Seattle a team? How about that?
Let's do that.
How about that for an idea, Tone?
No, Either way, I like the team right now. I like the NBA. I don't think they need to add no teams. I like the NBA.
The NBA definitely needs to be back in Seattle. No question about that. No doubt. That's a fan base in Seattle that if they got a team in Seattle, that brings back the Montana, the Idaho, Utah, also in Oregon, it brings back that fan base because everybody in Oregon does not just watch the Trailblazers. There's plenty of people in the Pacific Northwest who dug the Seattle Supersonics, just like in Montana and in Idaho. So you get a team back up.
Vancouver's just 45-minute drive down to Seattle.
Getting ready to say Vancouver as well. So the NBA absolutely needs to be back in Seattle. So not only that, Lo, what we can't leave out is that team, they didn't move. That team was stolen. I want to make sure that we're 100% clear on that. That team, they did not move. They were stolen out of Seattle. And that happened because of what Chris Paul and company did after Hurricane Katrina when they went down to Oklahoma City. Now, all of a sudden, we got to get a team in Oklahoma City. And which team is going to do it? Which team are we going to be able to get? Well, they're not building them an arena in Seattle. So how about we do that? How about we take their team, which is exactly what they did. The NBA absolutely needs to be back in Seattle. It's the only franchise in the last 40 years that has an NBA champion that's not there anymore.
So what you saying, Marz? The Kings? Because I was going to say the Kings too.
The Kings are great, but I do want to say Klay Thompson looks better in terms of not just that the shots are falling. That's not really as relevant to me. he's just playing better basketball. He's much more patient in the last couple of games. He's not forcing shots. He's taking shots in rhythm within the flow of the offense. So, yes, I don't expect him to make 10 threes like he did against Houston. But just the fact that he's playing within the offense and within the system, he can make those wide open threes off the catch. He can make those ones. So that will help the team exponentially. So I think the team will start rising through the ranks if this is the new consistent Klay Thompson. But the bench is still trash. But Klay Thompson looks better. So saying he's washed.
Do you want that trade, Kuminga and Wiseman for Gary Trent?
Why?
Oh my God!
I'm asking Marz because it's out there, so I'm asking Marz.
I don't want to give up Kuminga.
Oh, all right.
I'll give up Wiseman.
It's crazy.
I'll give up Wiseman for a second round pick.
I will tell you this though, Marz. Okay. It's incredible the drop off after the first 5 with Golden State. How much they drop off after those dudes leave the floor. It's incredible. It's almost like these guys, they don't even know what they're doing out there. It's incredible.
I'm gonna say Curry is not the best player in the league. He's playing sensational, amazing. I would argue probably playing better than what he was doing in 2016. The defense is there, ball handling, facilitating, playmaking is noticeably improved. He's actually shooting better, which is crazy. I think he's finished at the rim at like 75%. Am I bugging?
He's at like 76% right now.
Yeah, 70. It's like astronomical finishing at the rim as well. Like Giannis level finishing. So Giannis level finishing with 2016 Curry shooting with the best version of facilitating that Curry has ever produced as well. The defense is also no longer a negative or even neutral. I would go as far as say it's a positive.
Yep.
Like Curry is somehow peaking at 34, which is crazy. Then the Kings offensively look amazing. You already said shout out to De'Aaron Fox, so shout out to Kevin Huerter coming off the screens, slinging that thing. Boy, he's shooting like 50% from deep.
Crazy.
It's crazy. And he's not even thinking about it either.
Time out. Hold on. He's shooting 81% from 0 to 3 feet.
Yeah, you have to rim. Yeah.
Who?
Curry? That's Curry. Yeah, it's a big man. Yeah, like a big man.
Curry is like
he's better than a big man.
He's Giannis numbers. He's
Giannis.
Wow, I didn't realize that. I knew it was good. I didn't know it was that.
So is everyone in agreement that Curry's the best?
I don't know how I feel.
There's a difference between playing the best and being the best. Now, to mention to piggyback off what Marz just rebounding too. Not Marz, to piggyback off what Lo just said. Well, Lo, the thing that I'm thinking about with Curry, as good as he's playing right now, is this sustainable? Because I remember last season we had the same thing going on, and up until the point where he broke the 3-point record, his production dropped dramatically, right? So the thing that I'm thinking about with him is, can he keep this pace, or not necessarily keep this pace? How much does it dip when we get into the dog days of the basketball season, when we get into late December, when we get into January, when we get into early February? How much is this going to dip? And how many minutes? Because we know who Curry is in terms of we know who Curry is in terms of health. We know who Curry is in terms of his shot. Him being a long ball shooter, he can go into a slump. That's his game. Now, the fact that he's finishing at the rim the way he's finishing, that helps. But the question is we know that this is going to happen at some point. How much of a dip is it going to be?
To answer it, no, I don't think it's sustainable. There will be a dip. How much of a dip, I don't know. But if there is one player in NBA history who can sustain this, Curry is definitely one of them. Because, we saw it in 2016. So it's not as if like we've never seen him produce at this level in terms of just the volume and the scoring and the efficiency. So he's done it before. So if there is one player, it will be Curry. Yeah, the finishing is like that's an anomaly. I don't think that's probably not gonna.
Shooting 80% at the rim. That's 4
4
out of every 5 shots are going in when I'm going to the rim.
He's not going to keep that up, but he's looking like.
You think he keeps up those rebounding numbers? Because he's what, 6.7? That's too higher than his average for his career.
The rebounding maybe so, because outside of Draymond Looney, wing rebounding with Klay is also solid as well, but they just don't have enough big man presence. If they make a trade, then obviously that would adjust, but they do, like Chill said, gang rebounding, and everybody comes in and helps on the board. So I think that it's possible to keep up 6, maybe closer to just 6 instead of 7 rebounds a game, but I don't think that's going to drop that much. I think the scoring is the only thing that's really going to drop. That and the efficiency, without a doubt, the efficiency will drop.
The efficiency has to drop.
So if they start moving up in the standings, because we know they got to be at least, I guess, 6. Leading his team is points, rebounds, and assists. Are we talking Curry MVP?
I hate that.
Curry will easily be MVP if they finish a top 4 seed. He will easily be, and he's playing relatively similar right now. He should easily be the MVP. Like, I don't even think it's close.
Luka's leading in points, rebound, assists, and steals.
But his efficiency is not even nowhere near close.
It's fine. It's fine. I hate he's leading his team in points, rebound, assists. It's just so annoying.
Wait a minute. Why you got a problem with that though, dog?
He said that last time when I brought it up, and he just doesn't.
It's just I'm here for all the other points you're bringing up. Don't say he's leading his team in points, rebound, assists. It's the same logic we use with Luka Doncic, bro.
No, you can't. No, the reason why you can't.
He leads his team in all that.
Even if he does lead his team and all of that, we're talking about a guy in Steph Curry who's way more efficient. And the only reason why they aren't better is because they're not getting anything from their second unit. Nothing. That's the only reason why they're not better.
I admitted to that though. I hate the points, rebound, and assists narrative. I just take that out of everything.
I'm saying no. In addition to that, he's also leading his team in those things. In addition to all those things, it is something they look at. It is something they look at.
Screw that. I don't want to hear that.
Well,
that's what I call sucking up. You're just sucking it up.
No.
Okay, all right.
You're making it sound better. That's all. You're just trying to make it sound better.
In the month of this, not December, month of November, Curry shooting splits are 58-49. 58, 49, 88. He's
so we're talking 60,
50, 80.
Like, I mean, about here, Lo?
60, 50, 90. Like that stuff like that is not going to continue. But if they do find themselves at the top of the conference, top 4 seed in the West, and he's still averaging 30 on like very clear, like right now he's plus 13 true shooting. That would be ridiculous if he does that again. If he does like plus 10 above league average on true shooting, then he would like unequivocally be the best player by the end of the year. And then on a more negative note, well, positively, AD, he's playing slightly better. It's trash competition, but he's playing better.
Slightly is an understatement, but sure.
Nah, it's trash competition though. It's trash, just trash.
I hate that. You hate that points. Like you hate that, right? Like Dub, you know how you hate that points, leading the points. I hate the trash competition logic. We beat who's on the schedule. That's it.
No, that's fine.
That's all I care about.
I'm not making an assessment on who he is based off of him beating up on the Spurs and the Detroit Pistons.
I am, and the reason why I am not, because of him playing not because of the way he changed his game. That's why I'm doing it, and I'm doing it because this dude is not on the long ball line. He's playing in the mid range. He's playing. His pick and dive game with Russ is so much better. Russ is looking for him in transition. He's a much better player in transition. He looks for him on the box. He gets a lot of stuff around the rim. The question is can he keep that up? Because if he can keep that up, then there's no reason for me to think that Anthony Davis of old won't come back.
He'll keep it up against the Spurs because you got to play him 2 more times. Oh yeah, for sure. Against the Spurs.
Speaking of Anthony Davis, there was a super chat that came earlier. AD been cooking late like his old self. Any thoughts? And honestly, I did want to bring this up as well. I seen a TikTok between you and Lo that Chilltown posted up about Anthony Davis, about the big men in today's league, and then Lo had a comment on that. I wanted you guys to get into that. Yeah, I wanted you guys to get into that. Showtime, I'm gonna start off with you and your thoughts about AD and what's going on.
Once again, AD has always been the most effective when he plays in the 16 to 18 foot range tops as a transition player, playing in the mid post and playing on the box. James wants him to play on the box. That was the plan when James got him in the 1920 season. James started to slow down. The logic was I'm going to play off you. And not only am I going to play off you, I'm going to play off you by you playing in the post and you running in transition. You're going to open up the offense for us. Now, what the NBA did back in the days was, or not maybe 5-10 years ago, what the NBA did was they tricked the big man into thinking that you got to play further away from the basket because this is the way the game is going. You got to be able to shoot the long ball, which I don't have a problem with the big man shooting the long ball. In fact, the year that the Lakers won the NBA championship, I think Anthony Davis shot his highest percentage on the long ball. But here's the difference, though. If I'm not mistaken, Lo, did he only shoot like 2 threes a game? Maybe
he shot 3.5 in the regular season.
So 3 threes a game. I got no problem with that whatsoever. You know why? Because most of his game was exactly where he was the most effective, in the mid range, in the mid post, and on the box. And that's where these guys are the best. Now, when you get a guy like Joel Embiid who's shooting 6-7 threes, you're letting the defense off the hook. When you get guys like Cat that's shooting 6 or 7 threes in a game, when you got a 6'7" guy on you. I'm watching him 2 nights ago, I'm watching him last night against the Miami Heat, and he can't even score on Kyle Lowry on the box. You know why he can't score on Kyle Lowry on the box? Because he's so used to playing on the perimeter that his post game and his interior game has gone away because he's so used to playing on the wing, which goes back to my original statement of how the NBA has tricked the big guy into thinking that he's got to play further away from the basket, getting away from how dominant you are when you're closer to the basket.
I agree with the Embiid assessment. Sometimes Embiid, he does take a little bit too many threes, or when he's making them, I mean, I don't really care. But
how often is that though, Lo? How often is that?
These last 2 seasons, he shot 30-some% from threes.
Think about that though. 30. So if he's shooting,
37.
Right. So if he's shooting 1, right? So if he's shooting 4, he's making 1. I mean, if he's shooting 3, he's making 1, as opposed to when he's in the mid post, or as opposed to when he's in the mid range, and he's way more effective there.
No, he would not. Embiid is not going to be more effective in the mid range while being a 37% 3-point shooter. No, he's not.
Why wouldn't he be more effective? You know why would he be more effective? I'm going to tell you why. Why wouldn't he be more effective?
You're producing more points per shot attempts that you're getting at that point. He would have to be converting his middies at like a 56% clip.
No, that's not true. That's not true. And the reason why, because what you're suggesting is that that's all he's doing. Now, when I'm playing in the mid-range, if I knock down the mid-range, what's that's going to do? That's going to bring the big guy away from the basket. And what I can do is now I can attack him, just like he did Markin when he was just attacking Markin. Once he started,
the same logic is for 3-pointers. If I hit a 3-pointer, it's taking the big away from the basket. This is exactly the same logic.
Actually, it's not. You know why? Because as a big guy, I'll live with you shooting that because I know that you're less effective out there than you are.
37%.
If you're shooting 4 of those and you make 1, I'll live with that, as opposed to you being in the mid-range or you being in the mid-post. I can't live with that because there's more volume there, number one. Number two, you're more apt to get the big guy in foul trouble. And not only get him in foul trouble, you're opening up the offense even more for the other guys, as opposed to when you playing out 22, 23 feet away from the basket, you're taking away from rebounding, you're taking yourself out of the offense, and you're lessening what we can do offensively.
No. The point I'm making is that just simple math. I don't like. It's not even really a conversation.
I want you to hear them. I want you to say the math so I can fix your math.
37% from free is equivalent to like 55% from mid.
He's shooting, but he's shooting 27% from 3.
Oh no, right now I agree with him. Like
and he's shooting plus over 50% from 10 to 3-point. But
he's not going to shoot 27 the whole season.
Exactly, 20. He's not going to
shoot 37.
I think
how much higher is that going to get?
Hold on, he shot 37 last season.
I just want to ask the question: when you do your math about the equivalent of 33% from 3 is the equivalent to 50% from, are you including that you only get fouled on 1% of your threes versus 15% of your 2-pointers, and adding that point 77% of the time?
And that's great.
But you got to add that too, and you also have to add what that stress that on the defense when you get them in foul trouble. So I know that the advanced statistics want to tell you shoot threes because it's an extra point. What it doesn't tell you is basketball reality, which is 2-pointers get fouled 15% versus 1. And what that does to your team in terms of putting the other team in foul trouble, putting you on the line, resting, especially a big man like Embiid. Like there's a lot that goes into basketball other than numbers. Yo, what's up, homie?
The problem with that logic is not because what you're saying
that's
is
not
true,
logic. That's statistics.
Okay, the problem with that is that even though that's true, there's still other benefits from being at a 3-point line, which is floor spacing, better flowing offense for the rest of the team, rest of the players around you.
And is that where you want your best rebounder?
If we have other quality rebounders, it's fine if he's on a perimeter. It's fine.
But you don't though, because you're playing 5 and out.
You
don't because you're playing 5 and out. That's what Houston was doing. That's what Dallas was doing.
The other thing, if not to get into a whole philosophical basketball conversation, the other thing with this spacing thing, which we can argue later because you can space without threes, but different conversation.
Yeah, you can. You can.
And anyone who's played basketball knows you can space without shooting threes. That being said, when you shoot those threes, you also give up bigger rebounds. Bigger rebounds more fast breaks, more easy buckets for their team. Like there's so much that goes into it that people forget when they just look at the numbers. So I just want to put that into context.
Yeah, but
to use one of Dub's words. There's a lot of things that go into it.
Everything you're saying, there's a lot of things that also go in with somebody at the 3-point line, especially if they're a quality 3-point shooter. So again, more floor spacing for everybody else, make it harder for the defense to rotate and send help, which means that there's open driving lanes and
who would benefit the most from more floor spacing down low? Joel Embiid.
Also Embiid being on a 3-point line can also complement other players around him as well. It's not as if like he's the only player. I agree that Embiid in general, he is a dominant enough paint presence and post presence to where, he should be in the post more often. I agree with that. But to act as if like for example, Towns is not a good enough post presence to do that. Like he's just not. There's never been a point in his career where he's been so dominant in the post where it would justify him being in a post more actively than he's on a 3-point line, especially because he's shooting, like throughout his career, he's shooting 38 to 40%. Very, very, very common.
That goes to the philosophy of people where he should have learned the post first.
Well, not only that, Tom,
let me say this, even if he did learn the post first, the odds of him being able to produce, even with him getting to the free throw line, even the odds that he'll be able to produce at a level in which it would justify him taking away from the volume he shoots from 3 when he's converting 40% of them. That's Kevin McHale, Charles Barkley, Shaquille O'Neal level of production to be close to shooting 42% from behind the arc on like 6 or 7 3-point attempts per game. Like that's the level of shooting that Towns does.
Right.
So
Towns is a different animal, but even Embiid right now. Sorry, chill. One sec.
Yep, no problem.
Embiid right now is shooting 27% from 3, and I know you're saying, well, that's not, but that's what he's doing now. So since that's what he's doing now, get your ass inside because
he was arguing like a 5-year sample size though. He's arguing.
No, I'm just saying right now.
Even if it's a 1-year sample. I mean, who's the best player in the game today? Who are we talking about as the best player in the game today?
Probably Curry right now.
You think
Curry or Giannis?
Right, so you're talking about Giannis. Giannis does not play behind the 3-ball line. Giannis has put a mid-range in his game. Well, and how much
you can't even make
he can't even make mids.
Right. Actually, he's gotten better.
So far
this year has been atrocious. This year has been atrocious.
Giannis this year has been atrocious from outside of anything like 8 feet. He's been atrocious.
Right. Even with that being said, he's still more effective doing what he does than he is standing behind the long ball line and shooting threes. He's still more effective doing that. When I think about a guy like Cat, like you just brought up Cat's game starts at 15 feet. Cat's game starts at 15 feet and it expands after that. And the reason why is because, like I said earlier, that when you got a guy who has been tricked by the NBA that this is where you have to play, this is where you should be playing. Now he completely takes that other stuff out of his game and being a box player and being a post player and being a mid-post player because this is where the game is going now. So now that's not him anymore.
How the hell is a professional basketball player shooting 26% from 3 to 16 feet? Damn!
He saw Giannis's.
Giannis
has been terrible.
That's horrible.
Every single time I look at him, I'm like, oh wow,
I did not realize it was that. I knew it was.
Yeah, it's been really bad.
It's been bad. Anything outside of like 3 feet from the basket, terrible.
Oh my god, yeah, that's really bad.
Meanwhile,
Milwaukee can't make 3 for a season.
And yet, could you imagine? Yeah, and they're still in second. Could you imagine?
No, the teams.
They're at the top because of defense. Offensively, they're one of the worst teams in the league.
I've been trying to say that, but
I'm
trying to say that for ages.
The reason why the biggest is a part of why I disagree with Chill is that when it comes to AD, I'm sorry, I'm not going to overreact to him dominating teams that don't have the size to compete with him. Because when he did match up with a team that had the size to compete with him in Cleveland, and he didn't attempt threes then, he couldn't even score 20 points, right? So like him going up against the Spurs and in the Pistons with no bigs, like I don't really care about that. It doesn't really bother me. Of course, at that point, dump it in, and you can make adjustments based off of the personnel that you're matching up with. But in a larger scale, the reason why bigs and players and just in general got to more 3-point oriented play rather than post ups, because the reality is that a huge part of it is because there just weren't that many talented bigs for a good portion of the last 15 years. There just weren't. There was a subsection where like an 8 to 12 year span where like the best bigs were like Dwight Howard, Blake Griffin, And I don't know, like LaMarcus Aldridge, like
well,
the
big man was getting phased out. Now I won't fight that. There was a dying breed. Like Shaq was on his way out, no question about that. So, like I said, the game was moving further away from the basket. You can attest. I mean, you could thank the Euros for that, Dirk Nowitzki and guys like that. So the big guy was moving the game further away from the basket. However,
you think that was?
I just think they weren't talented enough.
I don't think there was a lack of talent. There was a lack of attention to the big man because people were moving, especially because of the 90s, because of Jordan.
Right.
People were like, hey, we can win. If you look at Jordan's centers, right? Bill Cartwright, Bill Wennington, Luke Longley.
Yeah, sure.
It was like, oh, guards are now the thing. Just like through the 60s and 70s, it was oh, you need a big man to post up. The 90s became you need a guard, a shooting guard. That's what you need, an athletic guard to win, because they don't even have any centers in Chicago. Right. They just throw out 18 fouls. All of those things, I think, played into it. And there was just a lack of attention. There were still 7-foot athletic guys. They just didn't pay any attention to them anymore.
Fluent, to go back to your point about Embiid and how him shooting threes takes away from him getting to the free throw line, that's just not true. Like Joel Embiid, at the same time, he only shoots three or four threes a game. At the same time, he gets to the free throw line a lot. I mean, just the other game, he faced him. Yeah, he faced the Minnesota. Hold on, wait.
Yeah, and that's fair. That's fair.
That's fair, but I mean, you're adding Joel Embiid already has he went face the Timberwolves where he shot 20 free throws in that game. At the same time, he was able to space the floor with four threes in that game. He made 2 of them. So I don't see how the logic of his threes is affecting him not getting at the free throw line. So you want him to get to the free. How? Then what would you say?
I said that you're taking into account when we were talking about how many points you get. And I said, when you shoot threes, are you taking into account that threes only get fouled 1% of the time where twos are 15%? It was a separate piece from Embiid. And the bigger point was that Embiid sitting out there shooting threes takes away from other things like his rebounding, his ability to get
make plays,
and other people can shoot threes and make plays. Yeah.
How does that take away though?
Inside than outside. And if any of you disagree that Embiid should play as a 3-point shooter all the time versus inside, if you have to make your pick, especially when he's shooting, my point was 27%. Then
I think we all agree. If we had to do the extreme where he could only do one or the other, we'd say he should play inside.
He should be inside,
but he can do both. So why not do both?
But he's not
right
now. He can't.
Right now,
sure.
Technically, yes. Right now, he can't.
Right.
But in general, though, Embiid is such a rare breed of a player where he can shoot 3 to 4 threes a game, at least for the past 2 to 3 years, not this year, the last 2 to 3 years.
Right.
3 to 4 threes a game while converting them at like 35 to 37% of the time, while still also getting to the free throw line 10, 11 times a game and still being effective on his 2-pointers where he's converting them at like 53 to 54%. Like he actually has a healthy diet of those.
Let me ask you a question. You want Embiid, you don't want Embiid coming down and setting up on the 3-point line. You want him going down low. Now, if he's coming and he just pulls up, like there's a fast break and he's the trailer, sure, I want him to take that 3 because he can hit that 3 normally at 35%. But if I'm running an offense, I want him to start down low, and if the play, the matchups, whatever, have him come outside and now he's shooting 3, cool. But I want him inside more than I want him outside. Significantly.
How often does that happen, though? How often does it happen where they just structure an offense and he starts on the perimeter? A lot of times he starts in the lower high block.
I'm glad it's interesting you mentioned that too, Lo, that he starts in the lower high block where he finds himself getting pushed 16, 17 feet away from the basket. He doesn't start on the box. He finds himself getting pushed out. Now, he's the most effective when he gets the ball 7, 8 feet away from the basket and then goes to work. I don't want to completely exclude the long ball, but what has happened, I don't want to exclude the long ball, but what has happened is that you've made these guys think that that's where I have to play now. I got to play outside in, when in reality, no, you don't. The most effective that you've been is in the mid post, in the mid range. That's where you are the most effective. If you want to add that to your game, that doesn't have to be an integral part of your game as opposed to what the other stuff is. What the other stuff is what What the other stuff.
No, go. You got it.
What the other stuff is what makes you great. That's what makes Embiid great. That's what makes Giannis great. That's what makes the big guy great, because he has an advantage. I'm better here than I am here. Now, the fact that you got guys like Steph Curry and Kevin Durant, and you got those guys pushing the game further away from the basket, now that makes you think that I got to play out there too. No, I'm going to still stick to what works. And this works. I understand the game. I understand the evolution of basketball, no doubt. But this still works. This isn't the same, Lo, as like the triangle offense being outdated. Yo, a big man playing in the mid post or on the box, that never goes outdated. That never goes away. That will always work. Now, if you want to add the long ball to it, okay, that's fine. You don't have to add it in volume. But as long as you stick to this right here, you're gonna be successful. And I think that the big guy has gotten away from that. That's why we've seen what we've seen from these guys.
You know, I look at guys like AD and Cat that want to play the 4, and they want to play the 4 because they want to play outside more because they don't want to bang down low. And the reality is both of those guys would have been better served playing more down low. That, again, don't take away from their versatility. Don't take away from them being a threat from 3 because that keeps the defense honest. Mm-hmm. But I think the fact that a guy like Cat probably pushed for that Gobert trade so he could go outside. Look, I won the 3-point contest. That doesn't win you playoff series. It just doesn't. And that's at the end of the day what matters. Like, I'm not talking about their stats, all that other stuff. In terms of basketball, those guys should be playing the 5 if they want to win.
Which, by the way, Marz, I want you to take a look at that Minnesota team. And forget what you see from Cat. And we already know what he's doing defensively, right? We already know what Rudy's. I just want you to watch the play of D'Angelo Russell. I don't want you to watch anybody else.
You got to beef with him.
I just want you to watch the play of him and him only.
I'm done with him. I'm done with the guards. There,
yeah, he's another one. Yeah,
Cat's playmaking way too much because D'Angelo Russell's incompetent at this point.
Yeah.
So what you got to say?
No, I guess my final point is that if we're talking about like the hyper talented bigs who actually are good enough in the post, like Embiid, yes, like I think he should be. I don't think it's not really that crazy. I just don't think that a focal point of his offense is shooting threes or even on the perimeter. It is more low high post oriented. Like I just don't think that it is. I also agree that he could do better in positioning, but I also just think that guards in today's game are just horrible at entry passes. So I think a lot of it just culminates to a lot of things where
I want to. That's why they need. Because that makes me nuts, man. When I hear that right there, that makes me nuts to hear Lo say that, because even though it's true, like how can you not? And I'm sorry I'm getting animated, Lo, but how can you not, as a wing player, how can you not be able to throw
up? I got
Embiid on the box, and he asking me for the ball. How can I not get him the basketball? I got Giannis on the box. He's asking me for the ball. I don't care who's in front of me. I'm getting him the basketball. Yeah, that's not difficult.
If you watch the 2020 series against the Celtics in the playoffs where Simmons got hurt and like there was no playmaker. Like every time down the court, they were just struggling to just find him when he was flashing in transition or just in a low block. It was like I don't even know how to begin to think about how I'm gonna throw this ball to your right hand. Like it was like, all right, come on, like what are we doing right now? But like, long story short, though, yes, like players like Embiid, I can understand that logic. But for like the other 90% of bigs, the reason why they don't post up or get in the paint is because they're just not good enough. It just they
don't know how.
Because I think what do they do?
I think practice. I see them practicing. I think
even through the transition, like for example, Zach Randolph, for example, Zach Randolph, active post player, could get in the post, but he just wasn't good enough. Like he just not like the volume of what he was doing.
He wasn't good enough. Low. He was a 20 and 10 guy. His first name was 20. His last name was 10. What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the efficiency behind it. The efficiency behind his 20 was not good enough to justify consistently throwing him balls all the time or feeding him in the post.
Right.
We could get 7 to 8 3-pointers up, and we can just get the same level of production that you're getting from 20 to 22 shot attempts.
Only except they weren't. They didn't have that. That's why they played the way that they play. I know you're using that. I know you're using that. I know you're using that as an example. Yeah. However, you have to play to your strength. Zach Randolph was a good enough post player. Same thing like Blake Griffin was a good enough post player.
Not a good enough post player.
Blake Griffin was a better transition player, but he was a really good post player. He was a good face up 8 to 10 foot guy. He was definitely that guy, no doubt about that. Same thing. Now, DeAndre Jordan was not a post player, no question about it. He was not. DeAndre Jordan was a pick and dive. He was a pick and lob guy. That's who he was, right? He was a pick and dive. He was a pick and lob guy.
That's not a guy that's going to post you up. That's not.
No, but Blake Griffin was a solid post player. Zach Randolph was a solid post player, right? These guys were good on the box. So the problem that we have is, I think the influx of the long ball pushed these guys away from the basket, and now they feeling like this is the future of basketball, and this is where I have to play. When in reality, the way guys like Olajuwon, the way guys like that played, that's never outdated for the big guy. That will never go away. You're
naming hyper talented players. Yes.
Right.
Olajuwon, absolutely. Be on the block. Joel Embiid, Jokic, yes, on the block. Shaq, yes, on the block. Right. Those are hyper talented.
Oh, we were talking about Embiid.
I know, but I'm saying, but the step lower, like the Zach Randolph.
Embiid plays down low too, so that point doesn't make sense.
As time continues to progress, as time continues to progress, someone like Zach Randolph in a league where there's just more ample 3-point shooting and volume threes, his scoring, the level of production. Yes, in Memphis, it made sense because they didn't have that much 3-point shooting. But as time continues to progress, if you're not able to be converting your 2-pointers or converting your post-ups at like a 52 or higher clip, like the hyper successful players, the hyper talented players are, there's almost no point of you being on the floor.
Right. So guys like Rasheed Wallace was doing that, right? Guys like Rasheed Wallace was playing on the block.
2000s play. I'm talking about right now, where there's the volume of 3-pointers is so high. Well, the reason we can easily replace your post ups with more 3-pointers, and the reason just produce more points.
We got to move on after this.
Yeah, we can.
Yep, we good.
Cool. E-Man.
Because we need to get some super chats, and there was a topic that I really want to. I hope we get to.
Okay. You see, let's get into it. Low, you said Curry's 54, 42, 92 on 32 points per game is the only dude who did this at a high volume. But Larry Bird averaged 27 to 29 points per game on 50, 40, 89 for 5 years.
I'm not even taking that serious.
It's okay.
Curry's shooting 10 threes a game. I'm not. Come on, that's what I'm talking about. I'm not taking that serious.
The BMG show. Steph, my bad. You made me laugh. I'm sorry. The BMG show. Steph, Kobe, all time. Is that ever a scenario?
No.
For Chill it is.
No, even Chill would agree. Never.
Steph Curry better than Kobe Bryant?
Yeah. No.
I don't think so.
There's nothing that he can do.
Nothing.
I don't think he was a better player than Kobe.
Marz?
I just need to see it for longer with Steph, and then I'll have him over Kobe.
I agree. The problem. I've always said the problem with Steph is when you start putting him in that conversation. We're talking about players who are like 13 years of All NBA caliber play. Like,
well, not only that, that's it right there. I mean, like we talking about Steph Curry. How long has he been elite?
This is the 10th year. This is the 10th
right.
year.
So he made the All NBA team in the 13-14 season. Right, that was the first time he made the All NBA team. Right, so that was 9 seasons ago. So
it's 10. Yeah, this is 10.
So
and he missed a year as well in 2020. So
I think I personally be 2012, 2013. He was an All NBA caliber guard. They just didn't give it to him. But long story short, this is the 10th year, so it's just not enough. It's just not enough.
Yeah, he'd have to sustain this till he's like 38, and then I'd have.
And that was my next question. How much longer do you think Curry's going to play at this level?
This level, maybe a couple more years, and then I think
two. I think 2 more years tops.
This level, 2 more months. There's no way he can sustain.
2 more months.
This is not it. What he's doing right now is crazy. Now.
Yeah. I just think that with Kobe Bryant on just both sides of the basketball and what he brought to that unit with the Lakers, I just don't think that Curry can match that. I don't. I have a difficult time.
Could never make your top 10.
It'll be hard for him to make my top 10. I'm trying to figure out who got to come out for him to do that.
Larry Bird could come off there.
No. For Curry to make Phil's top 10. Kobe would have to make his top 10.
Yeah, he'd have to.
And I don't think he's coming off that.
Right, because that means he got to jump Kobe Bryant, or Kobe Bryant got to go into the top 10 too.
We could make a good case for Kobe over Bird, but we were not going to do that today. Davon Williams, Low and Marz, where the John Stockton hate been at?
We haven't been speaking about John Stockton. I mean, everyone's aware. Everyone knows about John Stockton at this point.
Yeah, man, we know about him, man.
Oh man. We got Bro Mento with the 60. What is that? Euros or something?
That is not euros.
That's not
what
euros.
Is that?
That's
what is
something.
that? Sec.
I don't know what that is, but thank you.
Thank you, brother. Am I the only one that thinks Golden State has a lot of success due to a bunch of illegal screens? Not saying that's why they are good, but it's a real thing. It's 100% a real thing.
That's Swedish.
Bro, that's sweet. Yeah, I was just going to say that's Swedish. What up?
And if that's true, then we got to do that. Golden State isn't the only team that runs that offense, right? The Miami Heat run the same offense, and they do the exact same thing that They do the exact same thing that Golden State is doing.
No.
Yes, y'all do. Y'all
have you seen Curry this year though? It's been a lot of self creation from Curry. I don't know what y'all watching.
A lot of action off the basketball. Same thing with the Atlanta Hawks. They do a lot of high pick and roll action, a lot of stuff off the basketball. So if you're gonna say that about the Golden State Warriors, you got to say that about a bunch of other teams too. You do.
When you got David Lee and Draymond Green literally holding guys like it's the NFL, so that Stephen Curry get an open shot. Nah, bro, it's not.
Go back 5 years to David Lee. Is that what you said?
That's exactly what he just did.
That's
5 years ago to David Lee.
That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. Y'all want to be nasty and like this doesn't exist. It exists.
I ain't saying that. Whoa. I'm not saying that it's not. What I'm saying though is that if we're gonna put it on them, which it's legit, we gotta open the door to other people too. Yes, we do.
It's not illegal.
David Lee is 2014. That's the callback you just made.
I know what I did. I know what I seen.
That's a crazy call.
Get KD all the way out of here. Just a dude between Barnes and Wiggins. Cried to Kerr about wanting more ISOs. Now he's crying for having too many ISOs on the Nets.
That's actually fact.
I do agree with that. He doesn't know what he doesn't know. I don't think KD I'm not gonna try to sound this. I don't think KD knows what he wants when he wants to win. I don't think he knows what he wants. Golden State, he wanted to play out of the system, but now he wants a system. I just don't think KD knows what he wants to be successful. I don't think he knows what's best for him.
He's mentally weak. That's why.
I don't think he knows what's best for him. But I try to say that respectfully.
Does everyone else think he's mentally weak?
I don't know about mentally weak, but
I think he's soft. I ain't gonna lie. I think he's soft. So. And the reason why I think he's soft is because of what happened in Golden State. There was no reason for him to leave there. None. He was in a perfect situation. He ran himself off. The logic that Draymond Green ran him off or the offense, I mean, he was averaging 28, 29 a game. There was no reason why he had to leave there. They were going to pay him. And he could have continued to win championships, and he could have continued to build his legacy. The idea is
fans get in his head.
Yes.
Tell him you have to go win it on your own.
Yeah.
So as weak as that move was to join Golden State, I think it was an even bigger bitch move to leave.
What the hell? That's so wrong. That's so wrong. That's such a wrong way of thinking. What?
Stay.
So he could.
If you're gonna make that move,
that's
stand
more
on
of a
it.
bitch.
If you're gonna make that move, yes, stand on it.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing, though, Dub. If he's gonna leave Golden State to go to Brooklyn so they can build the unit around him, well, he might as well stay in Oklahoma City and got Russ traded.
Exactly.
But when LeBron does it, it's not a bitch move. But when Kevin Durant does it,
maybe
that's
KD
ridiculous.
just wanted to be somewhere where he felt respected. He didn't feel respected.
He was.
He didn't feel respected in Golden State.
I'm guessing. Maybe he didn't feel respected because of what Draymond Green did. And wanted to leave.
I think he listened to fans who told him your legacy is going to be that you had to go to Golden State to win a chip. So he said, okay, then I better go show that I can do without. No, just stay. Who cares? Who cares what people stay? That's the one thing I actually respect about LeBron James is he had a bad situation in Cleveland. They weren't putting the right players around him. He didn't go and join a team that just kicked his ass. He went and created a team and said, we're going to do it this way. And he didn't apologize for it. That's why I respect his move more than
KD never apologized.
So
but he left. By leaving, that was his
LeBron
apology.
left every time when the team started becoming trash.
Absolutely.
What are we doing?
As a free
first of all, no, he didn't. That's number one. Number two,
what?
Marz, to your point, Marz, is it fair that if that's the logic, then why would KD even leave Oklahoma City? Because he was the man in Oklahoma City. Russ was the guy that everybody was on about why wouldn't he fall in line. So if anything, Russ was the guy who, if he wanted him gone and they wanted to upgrade, that would have happened. But he was the one who bailed on them. But now to go to Brooklyn and basically have them build it around them again, and it's not working, you might as well have stayed in Oklahoma City.
He wanted to win. Golden State was pretty much a guarantee, so he won. And
now,
now he got what he set out for.
Right.
He wanted to go elsewhere, and he did that. That's it.
Well, he ended up winning in Golden State, which is what he wanted. Well, if he wanted to win in Golden State, why not just stay there?
If LeBron
he already achieved what he wanted to, he won.
Why didn't LeBron stay in Miami or Cleveland? Or why is he gonna leave?
LeBron should have stayed in Miami.
Well, first of all,
LeBron, what are we doing?
LeBron should have stayed in Miami. You're absolutely right. But when he left to go back to Cleveland, there was other factors there. It was, I want to go back home. I want to bring my home a championship. Dan Gilbert probably lied to him and made a bunch of promises. And so he was like, you know what? Okay, I want to go back to there was different. It was for home. And why did he leave Cleveland the second time? Because he was going to build his post-basketball career in LA, which is a production company and an agency. It's all the moves are calculated. There isn't a coincidence.
Of course, it's
There's
calculated,
absolutely
bro. But you're
calculated
calling
moves.
one man a bitch for leaving a team.
I didn't say it was a
success.
bitch. I didn't say
You
I
said it was a bitch move.
Yeah.
You calling one guy doing a bitch move when another guy literally did the same exact
He
thing
didn't do the same
for different
thing.
reasons. For
Hold on.
different reasons.
Hold on.
LeBron left his team.
Did LeBron leave?
LeBron left his teams. LeBron left his teams to go compete for titles. That's what he did.
Did LeBron leave? Did
don't
LeBron
like
leave his team as a free agent? Did LeBron leave his team to go to the team that just beat him the year before in the playoffs and won 73 games?
Talking
Yes
about
or no?
after, we're
It's
talking
not.
about
That's
after
fine.
the
You
season.
can think
Now
that's a bad move, but then you say it's
misunderstanding.
also a bad
Hold
move
up.
for him to leave. But
Fluent, you're misunderstanding
Like, you can't win
again.
no
I'm
matter
talking
what.
about after the success. After they won chips, they left. It's the same shit.
No, it's not. No,
It
it's
is
not.
the same
It's not the
thing.
same thing. The reason why it's
He
not the
left-
same
he
thing,
left
Dub, number
Miami
one.
and Cleveland.
Okay,
LeBron left Miami to go back to his hometown to do something for them, whereas KD left because he let the people, the fans, dictate his next move because they said, "Oh, your legacy, your legacy." He didn't leave because he wanted to leave Golden State and he wanted to go and prove I can win on my own.
How do you know
Which,
that?
if he wanted
What
to
was
win,
the, so what was the reason for him leaving, Dub? What was the reason for him leaving Golden State? They could have paid.
KD said, from what I know, I'm just going based off what KD said.
Yeah.
He didn't like how they handled the Draymond Green situation. They just brushed it off as if it didn't happen. He
Mhm.
didn't like that. He didn't like that no one spoke about it. What you can say is sensitive is he didn't like how he was being cast as the outcast of the group, and everyone just called it KD and the Warriors instead of like the Warriors in total.
Right.
He didn't like that.
Mhm.
And also he said during the whole season he was having doubts about the team. It wasn't like he just made up his mind one day. He said throughout the whole season that he was contemplating leaving, and then that Draymond Green situation just like put the.
He didn't like that he was being called KD and the Warriors.
He didn't like that he was being as an outcast and like he wasn't part of the group. He was just like
so the reason why it's not the same thing, Dub, is because number one, the Oklahoma City Thunder did a fantastic job of building that unit around KD. The Cleveland Cavaliers did a terrible job of building that unit around James. So those two situations are not the same. That's number one. That's
not the situation I'm talking about.
Well, that's exactly what
I'm leaving Miami and leaving Golden State.
I'm talking about leaving Miami, and then I'm talking about when he left Cleveland the second time.
Right. So they did a terrible job in building that unit around James. James, I don't think he ever even wanted to leave Cleveland the first time, but he had to go. Right. I don't think he wanted to leave Cleveland, but he had to go because he needed to learn how to win, which would explain why he came back.
There was also issues with Gilbert.
Well, of course there were issues with Gilbert because after he left and what Gilbert said, it would be difficult to go back to that, right? It would be different. It would be difficult to go back to that. And he had to be talked back in to going back to Cleveland because he didn't want to go back. So we're talking about a group where, you know, mom and wife, we're in Miami and we don't want to go back to Cleveland. What the hell are we going to go back to Cleveland for? But he got talked back into going there and it worked. But the KD situation, the reason why he left Golden State, the reason why he left Oklahoma City to go to Golden State, it's for one reason and one reason only. Because the gatekeeper, which is Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors, they weren't getting past them with the unit that they had. Period.
Okay. Why are we arguing about that move, though? I'm not arguing that point. I never argued that. I'm arguing him leaving Golden State, not OKC.
It's not the same thing, though. That's the point. That when he left, when KD left Golden State, it's not nearly the same thing.
I was just mad that LeBron left Miami. What's the next?
The motors are just
no, Fluent. What I'm upset about is that, and then Marz illustrated perfectly. You're saying that he left because of the fans, and that was just a lie.
I don't believe that to be a lie.
You don't have to believe it, bro, but that's just what it is.
Okay, let's so we know your opinion, my opinion. It doesn't matter. Neither one of us can say we're right because we're not Kevin Durant.
The man said it himself.
Oh, okay. People always tell the truth in the media. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Yes, you're absolutely right. No, you're right.
You got it. Like you said, let's go to super chat. Let's go to the super chat. Let's go to the super chat. Let's go to the super chat.
LeBron and
Lo, just so you know, Lo, you started this, Lo. I want to.
I did not start this.
Yes, you did, Lo.
Go ahead.
Man.
It took a cartoonish series of events for the Cavs to win 2016 by 4 points. Harrison Barnes had 0 points in those games. You telling me Wiggins didn't do better than that? Wouldn't do better than that?
Yeah, he'd be better than Harrison Barnes, but that's because it's Harrison Barnes.
We're not talking about 2016. We're talking about 2017. That offense from the Cavs was just like ludicrous. that Cavs offense is crazy.
Levine, Lonzo, Luka would low-key be very fun to watch. Bring him to Chicago. All jokes, big up the panel. Also question, did Clips lose the PG trade?
Clips lose every trade and free agent signing because they stink, and they'll always stink.
They've lost until they win a championship.
Honestly, though, Lo, I don't think that. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Marz.
Yeah, they've lost until they win a championship because they've given up all their future. Kawhi's 31. I doubt he'll even play for another 5 years at this point.
I don't think so.
Paul George is 30. So if they don't win with those two guys, and they have no future, they're just going to end up being. It's going to be a really bad time for them, like the late part of this decade. So if they win a championship in the next 2 seasons with Kawhi and Paul George, they win the trade because the championship will ultimately win you the trade. Yeah. But long term, they've lost, and so far they've lost, in my opinion.
Kawhi's career is done.
You think he overtone?
Done.
You think he's? I don't know if he's over. I don't, but I don't see him sticking around 5 more years. I don't see it. I do not see him sticking around 5 more years. I think Doc, he had to give up Shea for Leonard, but I don't think he wanted to. I think that if he could have given up something else for Shea, if he could have given him something else for Leonard, he would have absolutely done that.
Name me one player that's a good GM, because every time a player forces a team to trade for someone, it always backfires.
A player who's a good GM.
Jerry West.
No, that's what he became a general manager. I meant as a player. A
player who asks for players to join.
Like Kawhi says, "I'll come to the Clippers, but you got to trade for Paul George." Backfired. LeBron says, "Hey, bring me Westbrook." Backfired. I'm saying when a player forces those things, it always backfires. Always backfires.
I would say LeBron. He still did a pretty good job as.
I was thinking that too.
Yeah. Kawhi would have won. Probably
Draymond Green got KD
if he didn't get hurt.
Draymond Green got
Draymond might be the one right answer. He got KD to the Warriors.
Iggy has something to do with that too.
Yeah, those guys.
Magic Johnson fired his coach and brought in Pat Riley.
That's true.
Pat Riley was already on the bench too, so
yeah. He just bumped the other guy off. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead, Dub.
Who will win in a 7-game series? The best scorers at each position, or the best defensive players at each position?
The best scorers.
The best scorers, because you get Michael Jordan at shooting guard, you get LeBron James at small forward, and they both play defense.
Yeah.
Power forward, okay, Dirk.
Yeah. It's almost impossible to find like
Dirk or Karl Malone.
It'd be Dirk.
Dirk's best scorer.
It'd be Dirk.
In my opinion.
But it's impossible to find the best scorers who also don't provide nothing defensively. So
okay,
the
all defensive team would be what? Who's your point guard?
It would be Gary Payton.
Jay Kidd or Gary Payton.
Okay, so
it's Gary Payton. You can't say Jason Kidd. You get killed for it. So.
Yeah, what? Gary Payton. Who's your shooting guard?
You can't have MJ.
You can't have MJ twice.
So you got Bryant. You got
Bryant. Small forward is.
Is Kobe the second best shooting guard of all time?
I don't think so.
Is Kobe what?
Is Kobe the second best defensive shooting guard of all time?
After Jordan?
I don't think so.
I don't.
I asked you who's better. I just took because he said it. Who's better?
I would say
you could throw guys like Sidney Moncrief.
Sidney
Moncrief. Yeah.
Okay, so
I would put Tony
even like Tony Allen, guys like that. But I don't.
Was Tony Allen a better defender than Kobe Bryant?
Yeah,
100%.
How about Dwayne Wade? Would you put Dwayne Wade?
No. I
think Sidney Moncrief.
Okay, so you got Peyton, Moncrief,
Scotty or Kawhi.
Pippen. Power forward is Dennis Rodman, and then center is who? Hakeem
or Bill Russell.
Who's the center for the best scorers? Who's the center for the best scorers?
Oh, we're not going that far.
Best scorer and center. I mean, I guess people would say Kareem.
Jabbar.
Yeah.
That team is watching.
Wilt.
Nah,
not Wilt.
Yeah, but if we go all the way to Wilt, then we would have to put Bill Russell in. Why are we putting Hakeem?
I don't want to watch Wilt and Bill Russell. I don't want to.
Me neither. I don't want to.
Okay, so
all right, fine. Pick
up Olajuwon was a better defender than Russell.
Fine, pick up modern day center.
Yeah, Hakeem and Kareem.
Hakeem's on the all defensive team.
I think a lot.
Yeah, Hakeem for defense, and we'll do Kareem for scoring.
All right, so Kareem.
The scoring team is watching that team.
The scoring team's winning. The scoring team's winning. The scoring team's winning, bro. The scoring team's winning easily. Easily.
I don't know if you guys know this stat. I don't know if you know this stat, but the team that scores the most points wins 100% of the games.
And Curry at point guard. Curry and Magic at point guard.
Someone argued that.
You have to make the question: scorers who can't play defense. Versus
because the better defenders, right? The better defenders at each position, they were scorers as well.
Exactly.
You have to go like Steph, KD, no offense to his defense, KD, like Dirk
is
that
fine.
offensive team versus like Ben Wallace, Dennis Rodman, like that would have to be a thing. And then
the scoring team would still win. The scoring team would still win. But that's the only way you can really do it.
Yeah, that's sad. That's sad. Thoughts on expanding to Mexico City? Is that a good idea?
In the NBA?
Before Seattle. Well, they'll have to add 2 teams. So Seattle will be one team, and then who'll be the other team?
No.
Vegas.
I don't know.
Ron's getting a team in Vegas.
Well, no, they can't do that either. Unless they move Memphis to the East, I guess. Yeah, they could actually.
Memphis should be in the East.
They should be in the East. Yeah,
I hate the NBA in Vegas, man. I'm not a big fan of the NBA in Vegas.
I'm not a fan of any pro team in Vegas. But anyway,
I'm not a fan of the NBA in Vegas.
Super chat from DJ. Embiid gets most of his points from the mid range. That was during the Embiid talks. Is there a reason a team like Miami or the Warriors or someone of the sort haven't traded for a Myles Turner? He could solve a lot of problems.
Well, the reason why is because, number one, you can't trade until December the 15th. That's when trades open up. You can't trade for anybody yet. But once that happens, I'm sure that we're going to see a lot of trades. That's when guys are eligible to get traded. But once that happens, I think you're going to see a lot of guys get traded.
I think the Myles, unless they just signed a recent contract, you can trade now. You can trade now.
Then how come nobody's been traded?
I don't know why they haven't, but
I think really trade this early into
I think the thing with I think people are waiting. I think the thing with Myles Turner is that his availability, like he's in and out of the roster, and I think people are scared of his availability.
Why would the Heat
and Indiana might be asking for too much?
I don't know why the Heat would get.
I don't want
Bama the fool.
I don't want to. I don't think that's a good idea.
I don't think it is either.
Why don't you guys like? Why don't you like Bam? Why don't you like Bam at the 4? I think Bam at the 4 is perfect for them.
I think the best thing if he were to run the 4 is if we have a stretch big of sorts, like a Jokic on the team, then it could work out. But if you or Brook Lopez. But if you got a center in there,
stretch for whoever.
Yeah, but he's not enough to have Bam and Jimmy Butler play with that much freedom. Having Bam Adebayo there with somebody that doesn't really provide spacing is never going to work. That's why he can't run the 4.
I love me some Brook Lopez, man.
Brook Lopez can shoot the long ball, so
Brook Lopez would be amazing on Miami. Yes.
There's no way he's.
That's not happening, but yes.
No, it's not. No, it's not. They're not giving him. No. I like Bam at the 4 simply because Bam does have a really good mid-range game when he's on, right? So to get a 4-man, to get a 5-man. You need that 5-man to not just be underneath the basket. You do need that 5-man to be able to create some offense away from the basket also. But you also need that 5-man to play down low too. Because now what that could do is that could help Bam when he's bringing that 4-man away from the basket, create offense, not just for the 5-man. He can also create offense for his other guys too. So it's kind of a slippery slope where I'm doing 2 things at the same time.
Yeah. Well, what topic that Fluent want to get on?
Yeah, Fluent. What was the super chat? Am I close to it?
Oh no, it wasn't a super chat.
No, he said the topic.
Oh, we're gonna end on that topic.
Yeah, okay.
Talking about the last one. Yeah, we'll end on that one.
Okay.
After these, we're gonna get right into that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Z-Dub, whoever had the Cavaliers winning in 2017 against Golden State with Wiggins, do they repeat in 2018? First with Kyrie if they stay after the chip, then without Kyrie assuming he still leaves.
Well, number one, if they win it, I don't think Herb leaves. I think he stays. And if they end up beating the Warriors in 2017 with Wiggins, are we keeping this group together in Golden State? I don't think so, because number one, you lose them. You lose last year after being down 3-1, and then you lose again this year. We got to break this unit up because we're not close. So I don't think that we had, and that's really the only competition in the Western Conference with that group. So you got that Cavs team in 2018. I don't think Irv leaves. I think he stays with Kevin Love. I think they win it again.
The 2018 Warriors with Wiggins don't beat Houston. So that's it.
That is actually a fact.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, but that was the thing. That was the thing that I said. When you add Wiggins, do they even get to the final? That's
in 2018 they don't. No, not with
2017 they make it. Not
well, who knows? Maybe Kawhi doesn't get hurt if KD
right. Are we sure that they get past San Antonio?
If I'm going with Kawhi gets hurt in game one, if I'm going with Kawhi gets hurt in that same game, the same way with Zaza Pachulia, they're wiping
Dub, do you remember Andrew Wiggins in 2017? How are we talking about Andrew Wiggins in 2017?
Oh, wait. They're talking about Andrew.
They're talking about Andrew Wiggins right now.
Right now. Yeah.
If we say anything about 17 Wiggins, and none of this makes any sense. Like,
right.
Literally none of it. Actually.
I thought we was taking Wiggins in the time machine and just putting him on that team.
I wasn't doing that.
Hate this neither.
You weren't doing that?
No, I wasn't doing that.
Nobody was doing that.
I'm not doing that. No. That's why I had the Cavs smoking them.
No.
For that reason right there.
Yeah, no. You're getting smoked. No.
Yeah, never mind then. Thank you, Corbin. New overlays are fire. Just have a good one, boys. Appreciate you, man.
Thanks, brother.
We got another super chat from Iman. Isn't it harder to score 30 points per game without threes? Bird on top. That's for you, Lo.
I mean, it depends on the context.
It depends, yeah. I'm about to say, I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
I would actually argue it's harder to shoot 45% from three than 30 points without threes.
Big Rich, prime PC Shaq versus Baby Jordan, both in their prime.
Prime PC Shaq. I don't know.
Oh, I got Baby Jordan.
Baby Jordan?
Who's
Who
Baby
you got,
Jordan?
Marz?
I don't know who that is.
Who's Baby Jordan?
It's the guy next to me. That's Baby Jordan right there.
Oh, you Baby Jordan. Chill, Baby Jordan.
Versus
the players in their prime. Shaq, yeah.
In their prime? Oh, I got 101.
Yeah, 101. I got
101. Chill. No offense to Shaq. Shaq. He's the king of 101.
Yeah, facts. Oh my goodness. A Baby Jordan all day.
I should have never told that story. Oh my God.
I would have told it for you. I was not.
You would have told the story. I can't believe Tone told the story. What the hell? Y'all dudes is wild as hell.
You be able to handle Shaq's athleticism?
He handled Kobe.
In a one-on-one, he's not getting out on a fast break. I see what you're saying because I've seen Shaq play too. In a one-on-one scenario, no. In the full court,
I was a pretty good athlete, to be honest with you. I could touch the top of the box. I just want to put that out there.
We got Will Chamberlain. We got Will Chamberlain here.
You hear that, ladies?
I just want to put that out there. I'm not gonna. That's all I'm gonna say about that. I could touch the top of the box.
So he getting him out of here, man.
Dang, he packed.
But Shaq is something else. I've seen Shaq. And Shaq is a pro. So I mean,
you were a pro too, though.
I mean, I played a little bit. I played a little bit. Yes, I did.
Underselling himself.
I did. But
you played 1-on-1 with Kobe though, right?
I did.
11-9.
Yeah.
You kept up with Kobe?
Don't talk about the second game. 11-9, baby.
No, keeping up with Kobe alone makes me believe that now he could.
And again, we talking about a dude who he had just finished his first season in the NBA.
Don't try to soften it up.
I'm not trying to soften it up.
No,
you talking about a dude. He just finished.
I had a dude who played in the NBA for 10 seasons tell me this man was trouble one-on-one. I saw him do it. So that's it. That's all I needed to hear.
Dag, I can't wait to tell Shaq this, man.
Kobe was
that's no disrespect to Shaq. We're talking about one-on-one, which is a different game than a 5-on-5. I sucked one-on-one, but I'll work you dudes in a 5-on-5. Like it's a wrap.
Chose ranking for Kobe or ticket for KD. Which is wilder to the rest of the panel?
Ticket and KD. Yeah.
27.
Ticket wild as hell with
that. 27 is agreed.
Hey, Lo, did this dude really try to come up here and sell us 26 more players better than KD? Did he really do that?
He struggled at like 20.
Yeah.
He didn't get to 20. We got to like 17.
Yeah, he struggled at like 18 or something.
We got to 17, and I'm like, hey, yo, enough, yo.
27's crazy. Like 22, 24.
I don't like the Kobe logic, but yeah, ticket with KD is insane. 20 Kevin McHale? The
thing is, listen, I disagree with Chill on the Kobe thing, but I could see anybody between 3 and 12. You can make a case should be in the top 10. 3 and 14, probably you make a case should be in the top 10. So that one makes more sense. Even me, who thinks KD is way overrated, 27's a little.
He said that with his chest too.
Oh, bro, he says it. He means
good. He stands on it. I believe him.
The only legal screener I've seen on Golden State was Bogut. Andrew
he was like the worst criminal.
I was about to say he might have been the worst one.
He was grabbing people's legs to set screens. He was breaking all types of rules. But
how crazy is it that Golden State was offering Steph Curry for Bogut at one point?
It's not. Well, you got to remember when it was, Tone. You got to remember when it was.
Yeah, but in hindsight, it's crazy.
Oh, it's nuts today.
In hindsight, how crazy was that?
But you got to remember who Steph Curry was back then. He was a kid who
Does that mean
wasn't
Steph
sure.
and Giannis would have played together? Are we assuming that?
Yeah, probably.
They got Giannis in 14. Yeah, they got Giannis in 14. Yeah.
Would they have still been that bad though?
Yeah, because Steph was hurt those years.
They got Giannis in 16.
They got Giannis in 2013. That's
they got him in. I thought it was 13. Was it 13 or 14?
Giannis was 2013. I think
it was 13.
Steph Bogut was like 2011, right?
Damn.
So yeah, it's likely they would have still got that 15th pick.
I agree with this super chat.
That might be the best duo.
Another yo, Iman, appreciate the love, bro. Pull up to open gym, man. Love the super chats, bro. Katie is Terry Cloth. That means he's ultra soft.
Shout out Ticket. Shout out to Ticket.
Brandon Clinton. What big man has a ring in this era of the so-called more versatile bigs other than Giannis?
AD.
That's done with that.
That was fast.
We finished with that.
It's rare though. It's yeah.
It is rare. It is rare. Tyrone Young. Why would Braun stay with injury-prone Wade and Bosh?
Well, here's the thing.
Braun knew about the blood clots.
Yeah. I mean, the way he be capping, he probably did. He probably saw it.
Yeah.
He probably said, I told Bosh to go to the doctor because I felt like he was getting some blood clots. I saw him limping, and he just didn't listen.
100%.
And remember, too, that, before them blood clots, I mean, they looked like they were going to the East Finals.
They were a good team.
They looked like they were on their way to the East Finals before that happened. So Wade looked like he was getting back into form. So,
and also just saying on a well-ran organization, like why?
Right, that's who Miami Heat are. They're a first-class organization, no doubt.
Oh man, thank you so much. I love this.
Oh wow,
love this love. Thank you. Alejandro Rodriguez. What's everyone's top 10 all-time with no rings?
No rings.
Gosh. That's such a out of nowhere question.
And see questions like that. Yeah, questions like that.
Think about it, but I can say one. One is Elgin Baylor,
Malone,
Iverson.
Everyone go one at a time. So go ahead, Showtown.
He said Elgin Baylor.
I had Elgin Baylor.
No.
Tom said Elgin Baylor. I said Malone.
I don't mind that one either.
What you got?
I'll go Chris Paul. I think Chris Paul would make the top 10.
All right.
Marz.
James Harden.
Mm-hmm.
Shit. Patrick Ewing.
Mm-hmm.
Fluent.
Did we say Allen Iverson?
Nope.
Not yet.
Allen Iverson.
Stockton.
Oh man.
You're gonna kill Marz.
Okay.
Oh man. Oh man.
There you go. That's 6. You
Damn.
Come on. Really?
Am I missing somebody?
Hell yeah. You're missing a bunch of people.
I was gonna jump to George Gervin, but I don't know if I should jump that low yet.
You could do that one. But there's another one you're missing.
All right, I'll just say George Gervin if it's something crazy. Then
no. I want to jump off that one actually.
There's another one that I'm missing.
There's a big one. I think you would think he was better too.
Oh God, yeah. No. There's a much better one.
Come on, think about it, low 90s.
Jordan.
Who's running the league?
In my butt. Oh yeah,
Barkley. There we go. Marz, what you got?
You put Stockton over Barkley. Oh man,
Steve Nash.
Oh yeah, Steve Nash too. Yeah, I'm bugging.
Yeah. I thought you would have said Steve Nash too. I'm stuck between Russell and T-Mac. I'll go with Russell Westbrook though.
Oh my God, no.
Mm-mm.
Listen, Russ don't get a lot of love, bro. Triple doubles, man. I don't give a damn.
He gets some love.
Triple double king, bro.
So we need one more, right?
We need one more? Nah, because Fluent said one, then I think that's 10, right? Because it's 5.
If everybody did 2. If everybody did 2.
Yeah, that's right.
Everyone did 2. Yep, we're good. That's your top 10, man. I'll clip it up clip it up and send it.
Clip it up and give the honorable mention to Dominique Wilkins.
Dominique, anybody got an honorable mention? Chill.
Yeah. Drex.
Who?
Drex.
Who's Drex?
Drexler.
No, he won it.
He won it in 90.
Oh, he won it.
Oh, that's right.
He did win.
I'm tripping. Drex did win it. I'm sorry. Not Drex. Honorable mention.
I got George Gervin.
Yeah, that's fair. Mm-hmm. Maybe Alex English.
No Carmelo Anthony love. That's crazy.
That's wild.
Carmelo Anthony, sure. Yeah.
I wasn't going to put him in. I thought Doug was going to put him in. That's what I was expecting.
I was waiting for my turn, but what you got, Marz?
Reggie Miller or Carmelo
Reggie
Anthony?
Miller. Reggie Miller too.
I'd take Reggie over Carmelo.
I take Melo.
I'll take Jokic over Melo. What we doing?
Well, so would I, but I wasn't going to put in players who are still.
Yeah, Jokic still playing.
Jokic and
Embiid, dudes like that.
Yeah, Jokic might be better.
It's not a.
What do you mean, might?
No love for Dame. No love for Dame yet. If you're giving active players,
I'm giving T-Mac love. I'll give Dame love. Vince Carter.
I was say if you say T-Mac, you should say Vince.
Oh yeah, VC.
Yeah,
no, he's not top 10 though. He's not top 10.
He's not top 10. It's just love. It's just love.
All right.
All right, but we'll continue with the next one, man. The BMG show. Appreciate you too, bro. KD, Brady, Steph, Braun, Kobe, Russ equals toxic fan bases. 100%. Not Kobe fans.
I don't.
Oh no, Kobe, yes.
Yeah,
oh yeah,
Kobe,
Kobe, yes.
There ain't no toxic.
You know that you guys know Kobe's my favorite player all time, right? I to the death for Kobe. I once said that Jordan was better than Kobe. Kobe fans came at me like they crazy. They're crazy.
I think Steph and Braun fans are the worst, like by far.
Yeah, Braun fans for sure.
You can't say anything bad about LeBron.
Nah, I hate
bad.
LeBron.
You can't say anything that doesn't.
Anything good about LeBron
is the GOAT. Yeah. You can't say anything.
You can't be critical of LeBron James' career because it's followed by an excuse.
It's not even It's not even critical. You can't just say anything. LeBron's slowing down. What do you expect? He's 37. Like
he's not supposed to be doing this.
Yeah, that's why I have a difficult time being a James fan.
LeBron missed the shot. They moved the rim. No, dude, he just missed the shot.
That's why I have a difficult time being a James fan because I get lumped into this nonsense, right? I get lumped into this nonsense.
You're at least sane. You're sane.
Damn.
It's crazy.
Why do people tend to have Kobe out of the top 10? I don't know.
They don't tend to.
It's not a common opinion.
He's a consensus top 10. He's consensus.
Not from the people that I have heard, he's anywhere between 8 and 12.
From what I know, he's like 5 to 7.
I can't talk to people that got him at like 2 or 3. I'm like, we don't need to have a conversation.
Oh wow.
No, I'm good.
5?
Low has him at 3.
No, I don't. He's just
do you have Kobe above Duncan?
Who, me?
Do I?
Yeah.
No. I have Duncan over Kobe. Come on now, guys.
Yeah, Kobe's 3. Steph is the best player.
I was about to say, there's somebody in this room right who has Kobe.
It's me.
Yeah.
Steph is the best player in the NBA. It feels good to hear Dub saying this. Let's go. Yeah, he's top. Yeah.
Why do you hate Curry?
Yes, he does. For whatever weird reason.
I don't know, bro. When I was in high school,
you should be all about the short man, the plight of the short man. You should be all about him.
You have this misconception of me that I have little man syndrome. I don't.
No, I just have a correct assumption that you're short. That's all.
No, I'm short,
dog?
Yeah,
I'm short.
5'3".
I'm 5'6".
Oh.
5'6".
You're 5'3"?
How? No, 5'6". How tall are you, Lo?
I'm 5'11".
Shit.
Is Dub the shortest dude on here? Marz?
Yeah, how tall are you, Marz?
I think I'm like
no, Marz. Don't tell him.
5'8".
Stick with 5'8". Stick with 5'8". I don't want you to have the short. I don't want you to have the short.
No, Dub. I'll be 5'5".
No.
I'm still growing. I'm only 12.
Still growing.
So.
Yep.
I'm only 12.
Yeah. How do you guys feel about AK-47? I feel he was one of the most underrated defenders to never win DPOY.
Tremendous defender, but Tim Duncan is the one who the most egregious person to never win Defense Player of the Year.
But or Scottie Pippen.
I agree with
Pippen too.
I agree with Scottie as well.
Yeah, both of those two guys more so than AK. But yeah, AK-47 is underrated for sure.
AK played in a tough time to win that award too. So
yeah, because you had Ben Wallace, KG. Tim Duncan, even though he never won, but
Artest,
true.
Bruce
Bowen. Yeah, it was too many guys. So
yeah, but he was a dog defensively though. He was really difficult.
100%.
Yeah,
100%. Stan 601, most underrated player ever to you all. That's a good question.
Who don't we talk about as much as we should talk about him? Moses Malone.
Tony Allen.
I always stick with my answer. It's Dominique. How do you make that sound? Dominique, if it wasn't for that jerk Michael Jordan, Dominique has like 7 scoring titles, and everyone talks about what. And if he had even one good player next to him, we talk about how amazing Dominique was. Dominique is no one even talks about.
So you put in context of when you feel like it. Okay, cool.
Yes, sir.
Oh wow.
You see,
the Dominique Wilkins conversation gets summed up with Doc Rivers saying the difference between James Worthy and Dominique Wilkins is James Worthy had Magic Johnson, Dominique Wilkins had me.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, he's better than James Worthy.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, I think everyone knows that. I hope.
No, I think people don't even talk about Dominique. They forget he was even in the league. They think he was just like a dunker. Like they don't realize how good of a player he
okay,
is.
that's fair.
People do forget about him. It's okay though. Lo, what you got?
Who's the most underrated? I don't know.
Shout out to all my people in the ATL. I
guess Sean Marion, I guess.
Marz, who you got?
Steve Nash and Kevin Garnett.
Steve Nash is not. Oh my god.
Steve Nash is just viewed as Steve Nash. Like you talk about him, is just a failure, and he was a loser, and he didn't deserve the MVPs. Like that's the only context you get with Steve Nash is he robbed Kobe's MVP. He didn't achieve anything, but we never talk about him as a player. That's why I think he's underrated. And Kevin Garnett, some people view it as crazy to have Kevin Garnett in your like top 15. Some people have him fringe top 20. I just think that's crazy.
Let's bang.
Some people think that Paul Pierce is better.
Yeah, some people think Paul Pierce was better than Kevin Garnett. So
oh god,
not me.
I saw one in the chat. I saw one in the chat, and I want to mention it because it's a good one because it's my son's most underrated player, and that's Jerry West. Because people don't talk about Jerry West going to like
your son's most underrated player. Is
yeah, my son. Yeah, he lives.
You're doing great programming.
Wow, that's great.
That is great.
If you haven't seen it on my TikTok, go check it out. It's his top 10s there, and he has Jerry West 10 all time. And I said, why? And he said, one, he's the logo. I said, that's not a good reason. He goes, okay, but hold on. He goes, 9 NBA finals. Won in finals MVP, the only one to ever do it on a losing team. Most 20, 30, and 40-point games in the NBA finals. Do you know who it is? Jerry West. Like, there's a lot of reasons we don't talk about how great Jerry West was.
Like, great job over there raising him. What a great job. What a great father right there.
That's what he is.
That is a terrible job.
Only way he ever knows that is because of what Fluent has told him.
I did not tell him.
Oh my God.
Tone, you are not going to sit on here and tell us that your 8-year-old son is doing homework like that. No, he's not.
All day, that's all he does is
no,
play
he's not.
2K with all the legends. I'm telling you, NBA classics.
Fluent, come on.
He comes to me and asks me trivia. I'm telling you. You watch when Fluent Kids comes out. You know, Dub's friend Justin, his son who's 12 and my son who's 8 are gonna have a show called Fluent Kids. I'm telling you, you'll be shocked.
You're not going to convince me. Come on.
I'm telling you.
Come on.
Your son needs to.
What are we doing right now?
Tell your son so that he has an understanding why that happened, how fast they played in the NBA at that time. And that's
but he'll tell you, but double say no, I'm gonna save it for Friday.
I do think Jerry West was
Friday.
We'll
wait till Friday.
Yeah, I agree. I think Jerry West is underrated, but
I think he's very underrated. I don't have him top 10.
For an 8-year-old to tell me that is like, all right, come on, we doing
top 10.
I have Jerry West over D Wade in terms of shooting guards, but some people put him at point guard. I don't know, but I haven't bought D Wade.
Now is Jerry West a point guard or shooting guard?
I had him at point, but I think he's higher than Wade as well though.
Yeah,
he's one of those chill combo in the, like they have a own category, right, with Curry and Iverson. Yes. That's where West is.
We gotta bang out these super chats real quick. Last topic.
I mean, what we got?
We got 4 more. Alejandro Rodriguez, Malone, Baylor, AI, CP3, Ewing, Barkley, Melo, T-Mac, Nash, Carter. Not a bad top 10 with no rings.
Duh, bro. Melo, no.
Duh, bro. Luka era has started. Mavs versus Jazz, Western Conference Finals. It's not.
Nobody's
ridiculous.
watching that.
It's not. I will watch it.
If the Jazz in the Western Conference Finals, man, I don't know anything.
If the Jazz made the Western Conference Finals, I'll actively root for them. Like,
I'm getting the Jazz.
I would too. Oh, without a doubt.
I'm getting Laurie Markkinen jersey for
I'm so getting one. If the Jazz are in the West Finals, no doubt.
I heard someone say Bill Russell's overrated.
Who said that? I don't think nobody said that.
Bill Russell's overrated? Yeah, I think so.
Well, depends on where you have him rated at.
Like I don't have him in my top 10. Someone told me he was 3rd, so that's overrated to me.
Right, I got him at 5.
Would MJ be? Oh, my bad. Would MJ be viewed the same if Len Bias played? 100%.
He would not be viewed the same. No, he would not.
No,
why would not be the same?
No. First of all, do you Dub? Do you know who Len Bias was?
He doesn't.
Yeah. No. No, tell me who Len Bias is.
Fluent, tell him right now. Tell me who
Len Bias is.
No. Dub, you have some like knowledge of Len Bias, right?
Yes.
Yo, let Fluent teach him, man.
No, I
tell me, because that's the dude. That's the dude that was supposed to be better than him, right?
For Friday, but I'll say this:
okay,
you can't answer that question because you don't know. There are guys who were great in college who come into the NBA and just like, is he still a cokehead? I don't know. Right? Does he work on his game? I don't know.
Thank you.
Or yes, if we make the assumption that he lives up to his potential and he gets better every single year and he's on the Celtics, then yeah, we're probably looking at Jordan different because the Celtics probably take a couple of those chips away from the Bulls. So yes, we're looking at him differently. But there's so many ifs that go into that conversation. But Len Bias was like the 80s LeBron.
I can't believe
why wasn't Len Bias the number one pick? That's my. Why wasn't he the number one pick?
Because Cleveland already have.
It was a big man era during that time, and Brad Daugherty was the guy, which was why the Celtics was so excited because they only worked out one guy, and that was Len Bias. That was it. They ain't worked nobody else out.
So was Len Bias was Brad Daugherty like the consensus number one guy?
No, Len Bias was the best player in the country, and it wasn't a question. He was the ACC Player of the Year. Not only was the ACC Player of the Year,
they would always take the big, right? Just like Olajuwon over Jordan.
Right.
They're always going to make that pick. Daugherty over Bias, they're always going to make that pick. Heck, Bird was the 6th pick. Like, there's just where you get picked is.
Len Bias was the best player in the country.
I can't believe 1986. I can't believe you would ask me who Len Bias was, bro. That is so disrespectful. That is so crazy. Cause that's easy as hell. And to say that if Len Bias lived, but RIP, you feel me? To say that if Len Bias lived, that our perception of Michael Jordan would change. Our perception of Michael Jordan would change is just false to me because I think that no matter what, Michael Jordan would have dominated the same exact way.
He's the greatest. He's the greatest what if in NBA history.
But I believe. Only reason why I say that is because if you're drafting him on a team that's already built, like the transition from Bird to Len Bias would have translated to more success than Jordan trying to emerge as a player that he needs to emerge.
But here's the thing.
Bird said it.
Sorry, I think you're gonna say what I'm about to say. So go ahead.
Bird said it. If Lenny would have lived, I would have retired in '88. He said that. So it would have been a situation where Len Bias would have just segued right into what Bird was doing. Yep. Bird was ready to hand the reins over to Len Bias. So there is no Reggie Lewis at that time.
But are the Celtics
MJ will be the same.
Are the Celtics still a good team, right? Like hold on. Let me add this because everyone always goes to the negative. What if Bias does stay and he goes to the Celtics and then Jordan and the Bulls beat him and win those chips? Well, now we think of him even higher because here's a guy who was better than him in college and he beat him. So it could have gone either way. Yeah. Throw that piece in because no one ever brings that up.
But would Len Bias be the best player on that team?
On the Celtics, yes, he would.
Yes, you think so? I don't know. I have to go. I have to agree with you on that point you said earlier. Just because a guy did amazing in college, I mean,
no, I'm saying everything worked out.
Marz, to give you not Marz, I'm sorry, Dub, to give you an idea, Bird showed up to rookie camp in 1986. He said that if Bias would have lived, he was coming to rookie camp. That's essentially in 1992. If Jordan is on the Orlando Magic and they get Shaq, I'm coming to rookie camp. Vets don't do that.
I feel what you're saying with that.
What year? Jay?
86. And Bird is the league MVP. Talking about I'm coming to rookie camp if we get him.
Yeah, fair enough.
Next super chat. If Magic didn't get sick and Larry Bird didn't shovel his driveway, they both would have 5 more prime years and are viewing as legit GOAT candidates versus MJ.
Facts.
Shoveling his driveway is crazy.
Yeah, shoveling his driveway is actually funny, but yeah, 100%. 100%. Magic especially. We got robbed.
Who would have a better if it wasn't for injuries? Grant Hill, Brandon Roy, Danny Granger, or T-Mac?
Grant Hill. Not even close.
Yeah, Grant
Hill.
Yep.
Like literally not even close.
Perfect. Y'all ready for this next topic, man?
What you got?
All right, this is one that I think Fluent's been excited about.
I don't even know why there's a list. It's so easy.
Yeah. The title of it is, will these players win a ring before it's all said and done?
Mm-hmm.
And I got a list of players, and then I just need you guys to say yes or no. Y'all ready?
Yep.
So we'll go with Low, Chill, Marz, and then Fluent.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, hey, just so you know, I wasn't talking about this one. But anyways, go ahead. This one's good too.
Go ahead. DeMar DeRozan. Low.
Hold on, my bad. I'm all over the place. Wait, say that. Start it one more time. Say that one more time.
Will these players win a ring before it's all said and done? DeMar DeRozan.
Damian Lillard.
What?
Yes
that's
or
a
no?
yes. That's a yes or no question.
I thought you.
Focus, low. Focus,
My bad.
Focus, man.
DeMar DeRozan. No.
Chill.
As the man, no, I don't think so.
Marz.
No.
Fluent.
I what Chill said is interesting because as the man, no, because I think that's important. Because he can go somewhere when he's 35 or 40, whatever. But no, as the man, no.
Jimmy Butler.
No.
I think that time is come and gone. No. As the man.
Yeah, this is all assuming.
Yeah, we're assuming as the best player on the team. Yeah.
No.
No.
Sadly, no. I love Jimmy, but no.
Me too.
Paul George.
No.
No.
Nope.
Hell no.
Wow, you guys are nasty. He's not even the guy right now.
Exactly. Hell no.
Damian Lillard.
Yes.
No.
Nope.
Nope.
Bradley Beal.
Hell no. He shouldn't even be on this list.
No.
No.
Hell no. It shouldn't be on this list. You're right.
Yeah, he should.
Yeah, this was nasty. I think, all right, Fluent. Now I see the other topic I think he's happy about.
These are basically all no's.
I don't know why you said yes for Dame.
The only reason why I said yes for Dame is because I'm actually very impressed with what they're building around him right now.
This year?
Like,
you think this year?
Maybe not this year, but the defense has looked significantly better than what it normally does, mainly just because of Josh Hart and Jeremy Grant being on the roster. And I actually genuinely believe they're one good move away, depending on what the move may be, but they're like one good move away from competing for like a Western Conference appearance.
I don't think anyone on that list. I don't think anyone on that list, because someone said this in the chat, wins as even a top 2 option. My answer is no to all.
I think Dame could easily do a second.
The Trailblazers have tricked you, Low, because because what they done also is they gang rebound. Their rim protection is terrible.
You got bamboozled.
Yeah,
that's actually the move I think they should make. They need to get Nurk out of there. They need to bring him better.
Yeah, they do need Nurk out of there.
Yeah. If any of these guys was actually a second option, does your opinion change?
I mean, it would have to be feasible. I can't just say, put Dame next to Giannis and he wins. It would have to be like realistic. And I don't think realistically you can put someone better than Dame on Portland anytime soon.
Durant.
How could that happen?
You keep complaining like you've been doing.
Yeah, but what could Portland give up to get KD, Shaedon Sharpe, and Anthony Simons?
And on top of that, if they were going to do that, they could have done that this summer when he asked to be traded.
True. But I think, if the whole thing blows up this offseason and Kyrie decides
when Sean Marks get fired, anything's on the table.
Yeah, literally anything.
At the end of the season, when Kiwi gets fired, everything's going to be happening.
So the next question we have is, which franchise had the best decade?
This is also an easy question.
It is, exactly.
This is an easy question too?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. We got the 80s Lakers, 90s Bulls, 2010s Warriors, 2000s Lakers, or the 80s Celtics. Who had the best decade?
Off the rip, you can take the 2000s Lakers off that list. That they should not be on that list.
Why not?
Why not?
The rest of these teams make the either conference finals or NBA finals basically every single year in the decade.
Okay.
Practically every single year.
The Lakers damn near did that too.
No, they had like a
05 they missed the playoffs.
05 they missed the playoffs.
First round exit.
Okay.
07 first round and then 08, 9, 10 back to the finals.
So that's seven trips in 10 seasons.
No, but then
the NBA finals.
I think also in 2003 they got knocked out in the second round. No,
they did lose in the second round.
Yeah, the rest of these teams have like the Bulls have six finals appearances, six finals appearances and won all 6 of them. The Lakers went to the finals 8 or 9 times in a decade.
7 times in 9 years.
7 and 1 5.
So and then the Warriors,
the Lakers
have
ran off. You're talking about the 80s Lakers, right?
Yeah, the 80s
Lakers. The 80s
the
Lakers.
2000s, the 80s Lakers did the same thing.
No, the 80s Lakers went 8 times, won 5. And had 4 MVPs.
That's not even close.
Okay,
not even.
They were in 80% of the finals in that decade.
not even, and then they made the playoffs every single year. The only time that they didn't make the conference finals, the only time they didn't make the conference final was 81, when potentially Magic wasn't even 100% yet.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah. So like, but every other year they made the conference finals, like literally every year. Like, how would that not be the? What are we talking about?
I didn't like how you wrote off the Lakers though in 2000s. That was
OD. Well,
no, it's not.
that's the plus. Now, Low, that's the plus side of the Lakers, right? The fact that from 80 to 89, right? From 80 to 89, they was in the West Final. They missed the West Finals one time. That's the plus side. The flip side to that is, we got to take into account they were swept in the finals twice. That's a big deal. The fact that they lost they were swept in the finals twice.
But now, what did it take to sweep them?
Okay, so in the 80 now
Magic
in 80
Johnson getting hurt.
No, this is in 83. Well, you're talking about Magic getting hurt in 89, right?
89,
Magic getting hurt in it, and then Philadelphia add Moses in 83. But they were so let
me be clear. The team that made it to the NBA final had to add the league's MVP. Does this sound familiar? To sweep the Lakers. The team that lost in the NBA final added the reigning MVP to sweep them in the finals, and the other time Magic got hurt. So
I mean, they did lose to them the year before that in 6 games, and then they lost them again in 80 in 6 games. So I mean, that's the third time.
So
I mean, that's the third time.
Who did better than the 80s Lakers?
The Chicago Bulls. I mean,
the Bulls are the only team I'm even willing to argue.
I think the Warriors are out, to be honest with you. I don't think that the Warriors from that decade, I mean, they didn't become that until 2015.
The middle of the decade.
They didn't become that until 2015.
That would have been the other team.
The Celtics went to 6 finals. The Bulls went to 6 finals
and won 6 finals, right? Yes, they did.
The Celtics only won 3, right?
Only
well, not only did they win, only win 3. They lost to the 80 Lakers twice, so they out.
So they out too.
Yeah, the Celtics for me it was
they're out.
One of those Bulls wins was against the Lakers. That's how great the Lakers were. They go into the 90s.
Right.
You actually would have been better off putting the 60 Celtics. 60
Celtics.
That would have been a better. But
that's tough. That would be a tough one to win.
60 Celtics only lost 1 year.
Yeah. Out of this list of teams, no, it's the 80 Lakers. 80. I don't even think it's close. Right. The only other team would have been the 60 Celtics. And the 2010 Lakers and 2010 Warriors, I don't even think belong on this list at all.
Well, when I think about the 2000 Lakers, Low,
disgusting.
Okay. I
think you're discrediting the 2000 Lakers.
That's what I was about to say.
That's my favorite team.
I still think you're discrediting them on the list.
Go ahead, Chill. Go ahead.
The Warriors is the most egregious one. The Warriors.
The Celtics should be over them.
No, the 60 Celtics should be over the 2000 Lakers, without a doubt.
I think the 60 Celtics should be over everything.
I don't know, bro.
I think you're discrediting
the 60s. That's why
I'm cool with the 60 Celtics. Go ahead, Dub. I'm sorry.
I think you're discrediting the Lakers and how hard it was for their road. I mean, if you want to say best decade off of like performance, cool. But I think the Lakers and what they did in the 2000s was a lot more impressive than a lot of other people because they had a tougher conference. They went up against great competition. They went up against dynasties as well, like the San Antonio Spurs. So I mean, that's something that I'm definitely going to give a lot of love to the 2000 Lakers. If you want to say the Bulls, the 90s Bulls or 80s Lakers, I'm not mad at you, but you just completely writing off the 2000 Lakers, bro. And this is like, come on.
Right, Dub. Right, Lo. You talking about how the Lakers in the 80s, okay, I can appreciate the logic that they only missed the Western Conference Finals once. All right, so the Lakers in the 2000s, they went to the Western Conference Finals in 2000, in 2001, in 2002, in 2004, in 2008, in 2009. So that's 6 times in a decade. I mean, they did do that, right? And they won the NBA championship 3 times. So in a row, by the way. So of this list, the Bulls the only other team that did that. No other team on this list won the NBA championship 3 straight years, except them.
Against how many 51 teams? They face a ton of 51 teams on that journey as well.
Right. So
I'm still picking. I mean, the Lakers are just so far.
The 80s Lakers, I'm having a difficult time not picking them, but I don't think it's a wash with the Bulls or with the. I don't think it's a wash with the Bulls or with the 2000 Lakers. I mean, it was in the NBA Finals. I think from 2000 to 2009, 7 times they was in the NBA Finals. That's a big deal, B.
And they lost their star And only took him 2 or 3 years to get back to the finals.
Yeah.
To go back to 3 straight.
Kareem was regressing, and they were still making the finals.
Come on, Lo. You know how good that team was, though.
I'm not saying they're not good, but you're putting them up
the whole
against
decade. One team. Listen, I'm with the two. I love the 2000 Lakers.
I'm giving y'all the 80s Lakers, though.
But the 80s Lakers. Let's when we're comparing the full decade to the decade, one team won more, and one team didn't make the playoffs. Even if it was just 1 year, it doesn't matter. So when you compare the two, because you want to look at the negative too, you want to say, "Oh, they got swept." Okay, well, that team didn't make the playoffs.
Because they didn't
even have the same team.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Time.
If you're going to say they got swept and count that as a
I didn't say
finals,
that.
no, but I'm saying we're going to say that. Well, this team didn't even make the playoffs.
But you can also argue the team from 1980 to 89 was also vastly different outside of Magic. Kareem and Michael Cooper were well past their prime, well past it. They'd already replaced Norm Nixon and Jamal Wilkes with Byron Scott and James Worthy. Kurt Rambis and them added on. Like the team was also different as well. Even the dynamic of the team between 1980 to 82 up until the mid to late 80s was also different as well. It was a much high-paced team,
but it was more
Magic
stable,
Johnson
right?
oriented.
It was more of a stable transition rather than Shaq going out there and we have to completely
not in the early 80s. There's a lot of flux with like
a lot of flux.
All the coaches, players. There's a lot of stuff going on in the early 80s.
Compared to the 2000 Lakers?
Compared to the 2000 Lakers, yes, it was a vast difference. But they weren't able to sustain that success through that difference. All I'm saying is, so when you're saying that it was relatively the same, Kareem in 1981. But compared to Kareem in 88 is such a different player that it's not even like
not close.
Nowhere near the same.
He was over. He retired the next year.
Kareem in 81 was what? Already 31, 32 years old. So by 88, dude, he was done. Ancient.
Nah, 100%. Just
maybe he was older. Probably actually 33.
Anyways, man, this was a great show, bro. We hit the 2-hour mark. Anybody else here have any final words before we head out? Chilltown, you want to say your little catchphrase?
Take it light. Take it.
Fluent.
I'm be honest with you, man, Dub. I don't know how you gonna do it Friday, man.
Here we go. Those
hey, I'm be honest. I'm be honest.
Number 10 all time. Who's number 10 all time? Did I tell you that? Get out of here.
You don't have to tell him that, Fluent. All you gotta do is just put in little nuggets of like, hey man, remember we made it in the finals.
Do I influence your basketball, the players you like?
No. You have a Kobe Bryant
like you told me today.
Right now,
like you told me today. They cap it in front of the masses, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
Not only are they doing that, this is his son.
That's what I'm saying.
This is his little man right here. Told you something else, ain't you?
Look, he gonna move the jersey out of the way, man. We see the jersey. We
got ice cream after this.
You don't have Kobe.
I know, right?
we got ice cream.
Tune in this Friday, man.
No, but you just got a bunch of Lakers stuff around you. So the fact that like it's obvious that he's gonna be more favorable to the Lakers. Come on now, what are we talking about?
Thanks for having us, guys.
Tune in this Friday to watch everyone get cooked.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie, Dub, man. It's gonna
be
a tough road, man. Dub is gonna